This broadcast is a product of St. James Academy. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or other use of the pictures and accounts of this Thunder Broadcasting Network production without the express written consent of St. James Academy is prohibited.
Welcome to TBN Game Day Live, your home for all things St. James Athletics. I'm alongside Zachary Wilson, Jonathan May, and Isaac Bullets, alongside our guest picker for today, wide receiver for the Thunder, Jude Wonder. Recapping some games in St. James last week, soccer team on Thursday night in the senior night beat Washington. Good game by the boys. Girls golf won their fourth tournament of the season at Sunflower Hills on Wednesday, and volleyball went 2-0, beating Blue Valley North and Aquinas on Tuesday. A couple great wins for the volleyball team. Last week, St. James Academy, the Thunder lost 27-24. Heartbreaking loss to Blue Valley Northwest, but certainly a lot of positives to take away for that game, and certainly a good game for the Thunder. Really exciting game in that one. Jonathan, what are kind of your key takeaways after that 27-24 loss to the Huskies?
It's something I've been harping on all year, which is the trenches. The past 2 weeks, Thunder have shown just a little bit of struggle with stopping that run game, and you see it with the defense having to stay on the field for those longer drives. The offense was good last week. The short pass game was really great. It's just the Thunder have got to figure out a way to consistently stop the run game so they don't just get run over all season.
Yeah, I think that the red zone turnovers, again, is going to hurt us. We had 2 this week, and if we just got field goals on both drives, we could have won the game. And, again, the defense, that, as Johnny said, they couldn't stop that run. Northwest only threw 9 times. But when they did throw, they got some deep passes, and it burnt us deep, and they got some touchdowns on those.
Yeah, Zach, what were some of your takeaways from the St. James defense this last week?
As Isaac said, you need to be able to execute for the offense, you need to be able to execute in the red zone and have consistent run plays in the red zone to be able to get yourself into the end zone. But the defense, I thought the defense played pretty well, of course. Blue Valley Northwest is good. They have a really good line. You'd expect them to be able to run the ball as they did. But, you just can't get beat deep next week, and just play better every week.
Jude, so you obviously were on the field in that game, multiple catches for Thunder. What do you think was kind of your team's big takeaway from that loss? Obviously a really tough game, but what do you think your team kind of takes into the next weeks after that game?
Yeah, Coach has been saying it all year. I think the only team that can really beat us is ourselves, and you saw it again in that game. Just multiple turnovers that has screwed us up all year, and just like last week, same thing. So hopefully this week we can get back to 500, limit those mistakes, and just play our brand of football.
Yeah, and you saw St. James, they kind of got back a little bit to where they were at week 1 in that passing game. Tyson Beshore, the quarterback for St. James, had a great game week 1 against Bishop Mage, played really well last week. St. James needs him to continue that progress into future weeks.
Absolutely, and not only did I love to see, obviously, the passing game, 294 yards through the air, but he had 98 yards on the ground and a touchdown, including that big touchdown run that we saw. And I just love to see that extra dimension to the Thunder offense of getting the quarterback run going, because that's just another thing for the defense to worry about. And when you have to worry about a quarterback that can throw and run, that catches the linebackers in a bind, some of the secondary members have to be worried about that sometimes. It just makes it more difficult all around for them.
Yeah, as Johnny said, 294 passing yards. I liked it. The Thunder brought that deep ball back against Northwest. Sam Neeson, a couple of deep catches, one for a touchdown. Parker Chase had a great game as well. So, yeah, good to see that air game back, and it worked out pretty well.
Absolutely. Jude, you play next to a couple great receivers here, Parker Chase and Sam Neeson. What's it like having those two guys next to you catching passes out there?
Oh, it's awesome. The competition within the receiving room is amazing. Obviously it pushes me to be better when I see guys like Parker and Sam out there balling every single week, and it's just they help me a lot. We help them a lot. Just the bonding that we have as receivers. We hung out all summer together and was just making sure that receiving room is tight. And, yeah, can't really say anything bad about him.
Absolutely, and I think you see some of that chemistry in the games with Tyson. You're really seeing how those receivers, I think, are connecting with Tyson, especially on some of those plays when he gets outside the pocket. You're really seeing good chemistry from them, I feel like.
Oh, yeah, they've had a strong connection ever since the summer. At Mill Valley 7-on-7, you saw Sam Neeson going off and making crazy catches, and Tyson and them were just building their chemistry through the summer, and it really shows now here on the field, so really impressive.
We welcome you back here talking about next week for St. James Academy Thunder. They're facing off against a 2-1 Blue Valley Tigers team coming off a loss to St. Thomas Aquinas 28-16. St. James, they lost to St. Thomas Aquinas 28-7 earlier on the year, so both teams lost to Aquinas, but both teams hungry for a victory in this one. Jonathan, what do you think is kind of the key for St. James to get this win and get back to 500?
I think they just need to take the motivation they've had from the 2 losses in a row and turn that into maybe a little bit more ferocity, a little bit more aggressiveness, especially with how close they were last week. They were right there. They had it. Just a few crucial mistakes. They cost the game. Their offense looked good. Defense was better than against Aquinas, I would say. And they just need to put it all together for 48 minutes and go out there, play with all they have.
Yeah, and I think the O-line needs to have a great week this week. We have Dawson Merritt on the Blue Valley Tigers defense and Lincoln Stuvey, both at the end. So they are not going to be easy to block. We got to take care of them and set that edge to have a good pass game and have a good run game as well. So it starts with the good O-line play.
Yeah, and we talked about Andrew Babelow and Brock Heath last week on the O-line for Blue Valley Northwest. This week it's going to be on St. James's O-line to protect B Shore. Zach, what do you see kind of as the key to the game for St. James?
Obviously, they need to have an explosive offense and put up a lot of points because Blue Valley, they have a good offense. They can score the ball, and especially the way they've been beating teams with the deep ball, we've been getting beat with that same thing. We got to learn from our mistakes and be able to stop their deep passing game and really shut down their offense because our offense is going to have to play really well as well. Of course, they only allowed 7 total points in their first 2 games, so this is still a really good defense despite their loss last week.
Yeah, and Jude, he talked about it a little bit there. It's a tough defense to play. What do you think is going to be kind of the plan for St. James going into this game? How are you guys going to try to put up, a bunch of points like you have the last few weeks against Blue Valley here?
Yeah, I think just our base offense is able to, like Coach Joshi always says, there's no team that's going to be able to stop our offense, and that's why we have that that plan in place. And I think if we just limit those turnovers and honestly if we just cut out the mistakes and just play like how we're supposed to play and just we don't need to have the deep ball working every single week to beat these teams like Blue Valley and them. I think we just need to play like how we're supposed to play.
Absolutely. And we've talked about all year, right? Turnovers, penalties, those are 2 things really. They're the drive killers. What do we think? How does St. James fix that this week? How can St. James take a step in the right direction in those areas, do we think?
I think it starts with just discipline. I know Zach talked about it earlier. Multiple deep balls that the secondary got beat on last week in Blue Valley Northwest, or Blue Valley, sorry.
There you go.
Loves those deep balls. And I think also it's going to be up to our defensive line. You talked about Will, Brock Heath, Andrew Babeloa, a really great offensive line for the Huskies. 0 sacks from the Thunder. Didn't really get a lot of pressure on the quarterback either. I think that's something that's got to change. But I think it's just discipline all around, being that extra 10% dialed in because obviously they know this is great competition they're playing. They've got to be full 110%.
Yeah, and I think the St. James, if they weren't on anybody's radar, they probably got on it last week playing against a really good Northwest team and almost pulling off the upset. So I think that's going to probably make a team like Blue Valley look a little more closely at St. James. And them coming off a loss, they want to make sure they don't turn this into a 2-game losing streak as well.
Yeah, I mean, Blue Valley, of course, they're going to be real hungry for a win, playing at home in front of their home crowd, really excited to come out here and hope, they want to beat us, of course. They hopefully they probably have a good game plan and stuff, They've got a good defense. I think they can, if they can execute with the defense and create some turnovers, that's how they can win. But yeah, we need to stay disciplined and not have dumb turnovers, dumb mistakes, as we saw in the Aquinas game, and really put together good products on the field and score a lot of points.
Absolutely. Should be a good game, Blue Valley versus St. James. And now we welcome you into our prediction segment here, top 5 games in Kansas. We will be all predicting. We've done it the last 3 weeks. Here is our records. I am 10-5 in the lead. Jonathan is at 8-7, and Isaac and Zach are both at 7-8 right here. in last place here. Jude will be our guest picker this week. We'll keep track of our guest pickers throughout the year, so Jude is competing with our guest pickers in that regard. First game we're looking at tonight, Gardner-Edgerton versus Lawrence High. Couple talented teams here. Zach, who do you got in this one?
I like Gardner here. They had a scare last week against Shawnee Mission Northwest. I think they rebound and take down Lawrence.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on that, Zach. I think Gardner kind of going to refocus after last week against Shawnee Mission Northwest. Lawrence lost to Olathe North last week, so I think Gardner's going to take the win in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to keep the pattern going here. I got Gardner as well. 3-0 right now, going to be 4-0 after this week.
Yeah, Gardner's winning. That flex one offense, way too hard to defend. Gardner, easy win.
Yeah, it's going to be a Gardner sweep at this table. They're just too good. And like, even though Zach said did have the little 1-point win scare over in Shawnee Mission Northwest, they're going to rebound. They're going to beat Lawrence.
It's the curse. Now Lawrence is going to win.
Yeah, you hate to have all of us pick one way. This next game here, we got Blue Valley Northwest versus Washburn Rural. Isaac, who do you got in this one?
Blue Valley Northwest for sure. Washburn Rural got killed by Blue Valley. They're not going to do anything to Blue Valley Northwest either.
All right, Jonathan?
Yeah, I'm going to follow that. I'll pick Blue Valley Northwest as well. I just think their offensive line is too good. And we saw how good they looked against St. James last week. It's hard to imagine they're not going to keep that train rolling.
Yeah, I like the Huskies here. Their ability to generate explosive plays on offense and consistently generate stops on defense is going to help them to win this one on a long road trip.
Yeah, I'm going to go a little bit of an upset pick here. I'm going to go Rural. I think this is a Blue Valley Northwest team coming into this game that struggled last week against St. James, really, like Jude was saying earlier. St. James was kind of beating themselves. It wasn't really Blue Valley Northwest beating St. James. I think Rural's going to come out fired up, 1-2. They're going to try to go to 2-2. I think they're going to beat Blue Valley Northwest.
I don't like Will picking the only upset because he's already 2 games ahead, and so I don't want him to get to 3.
Yeah, it might happen, man.
I have to go with Isaac here. I got Blue Valley Northwest. Just like he was saying, Rural lost to Blue Valley last week, and I don't think they're going to be able to stop Blue Valley Northwest.
All right, next game we're picking here, Blue Valley North, Blue Valley West, couple EKL teams here. Jonathan, who do you got in this one?
Give me the Jaguars.
Jaguars.
Which team is that?
The Blue Valley West.
There you go.
They had a good win last week, I believe. And I just think Blue Valley North is not up to caliber with some of the other EKL teams. Blue Valley West averages over 400 yards a game. I like them.
I like Blue Valley West here as well. Although I like what Blue Valley North is doing, I think they're going to be a real good team come a year or two. But Blue Valley West, of course, just so explosive on offense. I like them here.
Yeah, I'm going to go West as well. I think these are a couple teams to watch for late in the year. I think they could really come on, but right now I'm going to go Blue Valley West.
Yeah, I got Blue Valley West by a lot.
Yeah. Blue Valley North is just a laughing stock of the EKL the last couple of years. Blue Valley West is winning, no doubt.
All right. Next game here, we got St. Thomas Aquinas against Blue Valley Southwest. I'll start this one. I think Aquinas is going to win this one. Close game against Southwest. I think this is going to be a lot closer than people expect. Maybe a field goal difference, but I'm going Aquinas here.
Yeah, I agree with Will here. I got Aquinas as well. I don't think Southwest is going to be able to stop that run game.
Yeah, I got to be different. Blue Valley Southwest, I think they're going to beat Aquinas this week. Aquinas, different quarterback last week, so Southwest is winning. I just think that they are.
Okay. I'm going to take Aquinas here. I think it's pretty hard to ignore the 2-score victory over Blue Valley last week. Really solid Blue Valley team. So I think they get the job done against a worse Southwest team.
Yeah, I mean Blue Valley in the past couple weeks has really proved that they are. Aquinas, rather, in the last couple weeks has really proved that they're going to be a legit team and power in the EKL this year. I think Aquinas wins. Of course, Blue Valley Southwest lost a lot of their offensive production from last year.
All right, in our last game, we are picking here tonight, Capon versus Wichita Northwest, a couple teams coming into this game 3-0. Jude, who do you got in this one?
Yeah, I got a little bit. I feel like it's a little upset here. I got Capon. They have a really good program over there down in Wichita, and I think they're going to shock some people.
Isaac, who you got?
This is a hard one, but Capon with that hard run game, I think it might be pretty hard to stop, so go Capon.
I'm going to disagree with both of them, actually. I'm going to pick Wichita Northwest. You know, they average over 250 yards rushing per game, over 800 yards on the season. I just think that's going to be a lot for the Capon team to stop. You know, whenever a team runs the ball that well, their offense is going to be pretty efficient. So give me Northwest.
Yeah, I like Wichita Northwest in this one as well. Of course, their offense is super dynamic. I think Capon is just a step back from where they were last year. I like Wichita Northwest here.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Zach and Jonathan here. I think Northwest just a little bit better than Cape, and I think both pretty good teams, but I think Northwest is going to get the win. Remember, Cape plays St. James later in this year. You can watch that game on the Thunder Broadcasting Network. All right, let's welcome you in here to our next segment. We got rapid-fire questions with wide receiver Jude Wonder. Jonathan, get us started.
What's your favorite team dinner?
Pasta night for sure.
What's your favorite play to run?
Doubles 84 Husky. Got a little out route on it.
Yes,
Always
sir.
wide open.
All right, who's the funniest teammate on the team?
Ooh, that's tough. I'd probably say John or Noah.
Okay.
What's your favorite on the field memory? What's the favorite play you made or favorite play you participated in?
Besides that didn't go well, that last play of the Northwest game was pretty fun.
That
Just
was fun to watch.
razzle dazzle. Coach Racky came up to us right before us and said, just have some fun, razzle dazzle that.
Yeah.
We did. Almost worked.
Who has the best hairstyle on the team? Best hair?
Ooh. I'm going to have to go with Noah again. I like the bleach mullet he got going.
What's your favorite drill in practice?
Favorite drill? Probably inside-outside where we go. Just like 7-on-7s, just the receivers versus DBs.
Who's the best overall athlete on the team?
Parker Chase.
What team are you most excited to play this year? So, game you still have.
I'd probably say Capon. I'm excited to make that trip down to Wichita and hopefully come down with a win.
What's your favorite game you've ever played in? It could be like freshman, JV, or varsity.
Sophomore year, JV, we played Blue Valley North. It was pouring rain. It could hardly complete a pass.
Yep.
But last second, Sam threw a touchdown to me back when he was playing quarterback. It was fun.
Beautiful.
Who's the best trash talker on the team?
Ooh, that's tough.
That's a good one.
Either Parker or Hornback. They both talk a lot of smack.
Who is most likely to become president off this team?
Tyson, for sure.
Oh, that's kind of similar to my question. I don't really got enough.
All right, I got a good one. Who on your team would you most like to take your sister to homecoming?
Most like or not
Yes,
like?
most like.
Probably Tyson. Very respectful young man.
Type.
So if Tyson showed up at your door with flowers and a homecoming sign that said, "Jude's sister, will you go to homecoming with me?"
Yeah, no,
you would
I'd
be happy.
I'd be
There'd be no
perfectly
doubt.
fine with that.
Yeah.
I trust that guy.
All right, we'd like to thank Jude for answering all those questions and being here with us.
Thank you.
Really appreciative that you were here with us today, Jude. And Jude, I think you have somewhere you got to be right now.
You right?
To see more, tune in to the Thunder Broadcasting Network. Stay tuned here. Blue Valley versus St. James Academy next on the Thunder Broadcasting Network.
Hey now, are you ready?
Join corner where the big boys play.
This broadcast is a product of St. James Academy. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or other use of the pictures and accounts of this Thunder Broadcasting Network production without the express written consent of St. James Academy is prohibited.
With both teams coming off tough losses, the St. James Academy Thunder look to get 500 against Blue Valley. And a good evening, Thunder fans, and we welcome you to Blue Valley District Stadium as the Thunder hope to rebound from last week's loss against the Blue Valley Tigers. I'm Will Nichols alongside Jonathan May. Jonathan, what are we looking for tonight?
Well, Will, this is a St. James team that wants to get back in the win column against a tough Blue Valley team. With both teams coming off tough losses last week, this game will come down to who wants to win more and who can better execute their game plans.
Yeah, and this St. James team has only beaten itself with turnovers and penalties. It has done that in both of their losses, so cleaning up some of those things on both sides of the football is key for the Thunder tonight.
Yeah, and this Blue Valley team will look to force lots of Thunder mistakes coming off a 28-16 loss to Aquinas, led by defensive end Bama commit Dawson Merritt and the Westfall brothers at wide receivers. This Blue Valley team is loaded with talent and will prove to be the Thunder's toughest challenge yet.
Should be a good one, the Thunder and the Tigers next on TBN. Stay tuned for the national anthem. All right, we welcome back here to the Thunder Broadcasting Network. Jonathan, what do you think are kind of St. James's offensive and defensive keys to get the win tonight against the Tigers?
Well, offensively, they've got to limit those turnovers, and they have to finish possessions. We saw multiple turnovers last week, a couple costly ones in the red zone. They've got to value the football, and they've got to make sure that they're coming away with points on almost every single offensive drive. Defensively, they've got to slow this passing attack from Blue Valley. The Westfall brothers, you've got Grady, 15, the senior, Grant, his little brother, 17, the sophomore. They're going to be deadly through the air. The secondary's got to be disciplined, especially after giving up some big home run plays last week. And then just overall, got to have the domination on the line of scrimmage. That was one of Racky's huge things in his scouting report this week. It was in all caps and red. So that's one thing to look for are the Thunder dominating that line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball? And if they are, their chances to win go way up.
Absolutely. We talked about last week Andrew Babaloa and Brock Heath, a couple of 4- and 5-star linemen, respectively, for both of them. Really talented players. This week, St. James faced a similar challenge on the defensive line. Dawson Merritt playing a sort of outside linebacker position, the Alabama commit. He is super talented, and it's going to be a big challenge for St. James' offensive line. They're going to have to keep Tyson Beshore clean in that pocket so St. James can have some of those big pass plays that they had last week work to the maximum success for St. James.
Absolutely. The offensive line's communication is going to have to be top tier. And another thing to know about Blue Valley, they only play 3 down defensive linemen, so that means blitzes are coming from any direction. So they've got to be sure to communicate and pick them up so that Tyson has time for those downfield routes to develop, like you said, Will.
Yeah, 3-3-5 defense is what Blue Valley runs. You don't see many teams at the high school run it. You don't even see many teams really in the college level run it because it is a really difficult defense to play. You have to have great athletes at the D-line and linebacker, and St. James is going to need to make sure they're doing their best on offense to communicate on those things. We're seeing the student section here, construction night for the Thunder. Really excited to have all these students out here for St. James. Good showing by the Thunder, great showing as well by the Blue Valley fans, as always. And this looks to be a really good game here. It's the Blue Valley team 2-1 on the year. They're coming off a loss to Aquinas. Now, St. James lost to Aquinas 28-7 in their second game of the season. Aquinas, the next week, took on this Blue Valley team. They won 28-16. So both teams have fallen to Aquinas. That's the only similar game they have so far. And it looks like St. James will be kicking off, going from right to left here on the kickoff. Going to be Patrick Dennis and Grady Westfall, the 2 returners here. We talked about it just a moment ago, but Grady Westfall, number 15, Grant Westfall, number 17. There are going to be a couple really key receivers to watch, along with Jackson Hopper, all 3 elite level receivers for the Tigers. It'll be Ben Johnson kicking off again for the Thunder. Saw Ben Johnson hit a field goal last week in the 27-24 victory, or loss rather, for the Thunder. You can hear the crowd on both sides getting excited. This is a big game for both these teams. This can be a real measuring stick game, see kind of where both these teams are at this point in the year. James kicking from the far right hash here on the kickoff. Not much of a wind out here tonight. Beautiful night, about 65 degrees outside. Pretty much a perfect night for football in September. Refs have whistled, and we are ready to play. Ben Johnson sends it off, and this one will go out the back of the end zone, so the Tigers will start their drive at the 20-yard line here. This is going to be a big game for the St. James secondary. They're playing some really, really talented wide receivers here and going up against a pretty good quarterback in Chris Aiello.
For sure, and we saw how they fared against the very talented wide receivers last week of the Blue Valley Northwest Huskies. Had a few miscommunications. The secondary got beat deep a little bit. Coach Denton made sure to stress that cannot happen this week. Safeties have got to be the deepest guys on the field, and everyone has to stay disciplined. Watch those routes coming from the other side of the field as well. They've got to keep everything in front of them.
All right, 1st down and 10 here from the 20-yard line for the Tigers. And in motion. It's going to be a little RPO. They're going to get it out to Stuvey, the tight end. He'll go out of bounds after a gain of about 8. Nice gain on 1st down for the Tigers.
One thing that I think we're going to see a lot tonight is the use of motion by the Tigers. Coach Radke put it in the scouting report. They use a lot of motion, which kind of throws the defense off a little bit, helps expose their coverage. I mean, I bet Blue Valley already knows our coverage, but still just gets the linebackers and those secondary members in their head a little bit, gets them to take their eyes off the guy they want to go to.
Yeah, it's a good way to sell your quarterback into the game. Nice, easy pass there to one of the talented playmakers on this team in Taft Stu, the tight end. He's also a guy who's played a little bit of quarterback as well in his career for the Tigers, so they've used him on a couple trick plays over the years. Wouldn't be surprised to see that tonight. It's going to be play action again. There's Hopper. Hopper balls out, and I think St. James got it. Let's see what the call is, but it looks like the Thunder got it, and they do. A big play, the 2nd play of the game. St. James gets the fumble. Jack Bevitt with the recovery.
Absolutely huge. Forcing turnovers is something the Thunder haven't really done that much this year. And great job there by Brady Boydston to knock it out. That sets the Thunder up with great field position. They got to be able to capitalize on this, on the turnover.
Absolutely, a great play there by Brady Boydston, hitting the receiver right after he caught that ball. Definitely a clean fumble, and it's going to be St. James starting at the 35. Really good field position. Like you said, Jonathan, they need to take advantage here. Wonder in motion. It's going to be fake to Wonder. Give to Tujak, going far side. Gets about 3 on the carry. Looks like he took a tough hit there. It's going to be 2nd and 7 for the Thunder.
Something that you could see a lot tonight is kind of those draw runs or those zone runs from the Thunder, because that's one of the best ways to kind of get a numbers advantage against this 3-3-5 defense that the Tigers play. So look for that a lot, and like we said, the offensive line is going to have to be at the top of their game tonight in order for those to go far and have success. Yeah,
and I think this is an O-line group. You're going to see a lot more rotation tonight as well. It's going to be a quick pass. Chase, one-handed catch. Nice play there. He is going to be brought down, and that was Bijor maybe just throwing that one a hair too quick, but great play by Chase to haul it in. It's going to make it a 3rd and short for the Thunder offense.
Absolutely great adjustment. And, you know, last week we did see a lot of success in the short pass game from the Thunder. Looks like they're trying to get back to that early tonight, getting Parker and Sam Neeson involved. And like we saw, those short passes can sometimes turn into big gains and kind of lull the secondary to sleep.
3rd down and 3. 3 receivers to Bishor's left, 1 to his right. Drops back. Flushed. Still on his feet, not anymore. He is brought down. A big 3rd down sack for the Tigers. And a great play there. That was Lincoln Stuvey in on the sack. St. James loses 12, and they'll have to punt the ball.
And that's an extra big code because now you're out of field goal range, whereas before, you know, you were probably in Ben Johnson's range. We've seen him hit from 52 in warm-ups before, but now, like Will said, you've got to punt. And that's something that the offensive line is going to have to clean up, is got to keep that protection clean for Tyson.
And interesting, they looks like are not going to be punting the ball here. So St. James a little risky, 4th and 15. We've seen some issues with the punt unit. We haven't seen great punts at all this year. So we'll see what St. James goes with. Big blitz coming. Bishor. Chase has it, and he is a yard short. They're going to say he didn't get there. That was McGuire Richmond in on the tackle. We're going to be saying his name a lot tonight. 45 tackles on the year for the Tigers, and comes up with a giant one there to get the offense back on the field for Blue Valley.
That's a nice route combo from St. James. You know, getting the ball to Parker over the middle of the field is really exactly what you want. Just unfortunate that it's about a yard short. Credit to the offensive line and John Tujek especially there. Blue Valley starts with 3, blitzes 3 guys to a 6-man rush. Great blitz pickup by the line to allow Tyson to make that throw.
Yeah, and a good confident throw from Bishor. Unfortunately, just a yard short. So the offense comes back out for the Tigers. give it to the back. Still on his feet, gets a couple. That's Stakowiak there on the carry.
Now, one of the other things Coach Racky kind of put in that scouting report, I did read a little more in depth this week, is Blue Valley's been very run-heavy against St. James these past few years, and they've got a very potent pass game, as we talked about, but stopping the run is still going to be that number one priority because that's the shortest path to the end zone is just right up the middle, so you've got to be able to shut that down, force them into second, third longs, getting them behind the sticks.
That is going to be huge for a Thunder. We're going to see a lot of pistol sets tonight. That means it's going to be the running back behind the quarterback here a lot tonight. That's going to give them the option to hand off a little bit more with a head of steam. And you see Blue Valley frustrated to call this first time out here are the Tigers. So just 3.5 minutes into the game, Tigers are going to have to call their first timeout of the night. Tonight's commercials are courtesy of St. James Academy's yearbook class. We have 7 volumes tonight showcasing the best of St. James from August and September. In Volume 1, we honor the St. James fans. And 7 here, ball at the 35. Shotgun look for the Tigers. They're going to give to Westfall. On the handoff there, he gets about 4. And Andy Tevers, new starting nose tackle for the Thunder, makes the first contact there. It's going to set up a 3rd and short for the Tigers.
Great job by Max Raquette there to set the edge for force Grady Westfall back inside. And that's one of the playmakers that I'm sure we're going to be calling his name a lot tonight for the Tigers, one of their main guys they go to. But good job by the Thunder reading that play, getting it down, and forcing them into about a 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4 here.
So critical play here. St. James wants to get this Tigers offense off the field. You got to think it's probably 4-down territory if it's close. Play action, ILO. Looking, almost picked off. It went to Westfall. It was just hanging in the air there, dryling in coverage. You don't see that much for the star DN for a Thunder. And it looks like the Tigers are going to send out the punt unit. Maybe a little bit of a surprise here, only 4th and 3. They definitely could get this first down, but probably don't want to give St. James offense another chance with that good a field position.
For sure, and yeah, like you said, well, great coverage there by Aiden Drying. And also Andrew Moyer in the backfield. Blue Valley offensive line maybe got away with a little bit of a hold there. Just looked like it was a little bit of a rush throw.
So McGuire Richmond punting, high snap. He gets it down. St. James almost blocks it. Not the best punt because of how hurried he was off the snap, and a great roll for the Tigers down perfectly at the 30-yard line. So that's where St. James offense will start. They got 70 yards to go. Performance Rehab uses the latest and most efficient treatments to meet your specific problem and guarantees your success. Experience the caring environment and the genuine concern they show when getting to know their patients and their health goals. Performance Rehab is a proud supporter of the SJA Crimson Club. St. James in that bunch formation close to the quarterback B-Shore here. Wonder in motion, play action. Wonder has the ball on the outside. Bubble screen gets him 8 or 9 there. That's that short passing game, opening some things up for the St. James offense there.
And there it is again, good use of motion to get Wonder open, take advantage of that weak side flat that is a little bit under-defended in this defense. They still got guys there, they're very able. But good read from B-Shore, nice simple throw right over there in the flat, and big pickup from Jude.
Yeah, and that's the sort of play you don't really see St. James run very much when they don't have a quarterback that they trust like B-Shore to make the read. Jude Wonder, just on our pregame show actually earlier tonight, making his first catch of the night. Big hit on B-Shore. Ball's out. Chase drops it. And so the Tigers get the ball. B-Shore got rocked on the bubble screen, and then Chase saw the ball pop out. Physical play. Looks like a Tigers down and injured as well. So a lot happening on that play, but ultimately Blue Valley is going to end up with the ball. Looks like a defender for the Tigers is still down.
So with both teams with an early fumble, they both coughed it up. It's looking like it's going to come out of the defense to really set the tone in this game after 2 early turnovers. And like I talked about pregame, that's something St. James wants to try to limit. They have to try to be positive in that turnover battle because that's huge. That extra possession to go get another touchdown is bigger than you ever know.
Absolutely, and yet we talked about earlier, ball security really matters. St. James got a turnover forced early, which we haven't seen a lot of from the defense, but then immediately gives it back up. And so far through about 5 minutes, it's been a very, very sloppy start to the game on both sides of the football.
But you've seen what St. James is trying to do, right? They're getting the ball out of Tyson's hands quick. They know that this Blue Valley rush is very powerful and that he probably doesn't have 2-3 seconds to sit back there, so they're getting it out into the hands of Parker and Jude. I'm sure we'll see Sam Nisa get involved soon, and letting them go make a play in space and trusting that their O-line and their other receivers can go block and they can take on that secondary.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of trust in the receivers for St. James. That was Jason Brendel, the junior linebacker, going down with the injury there, limping off the field. Ultimately, the Tigers are going to get the ball back here, though, at St. James's 44. So the punt nets them about 25, 30 yards, and now they're going to start in St. James territory for the first time tonight. Handoff Stakoyak. Here he goes. Makes a man miss. He's still on his feet. Great run from Stakoyak, and he gets about 15 for the first down. St. James missing a couple crucial tackles on that play.
Absolutely, and that's some issues we've seen throughout multiple weeks now against Aquinas, against Blue Valley Northwest. It was a little better. Now against Blue Valley, they've got to be able to bring the runners down on that first contact and have multiple guys there at the point of attack. You can't let him break 3-4 tackles and get 6 extra yards out of it.
Yeah, it's really critical for St. James. They struggled a lot week 2 against St. Thomas Aquinas in that regard, especially in the second half, really, with making those tackles early on. They give it back to him. It did not work that time. Aiden Dreiling with the big play. We saw him make a lot of plays week 1 against Miege. Been a little more quiet since then, but a big TFL for the Thunder on that one for a loss of 3.
And I think that's exactly what that kid needs. He just needs a little bit of confidence, that one big play that's going to get him fired up the whole night. And yeah, this is exactly what we talked about earlier, getting them behind the sticks. Second and long now.
So second and about 13 for the Tigers. Drops back, good pocket, steps up, does Aiello, and he is brought down by his shoestrings. That's Hank Schreiner, the senior linebacker for the Thunder, making a stop. It's going to make it 3rd and 10. Aiello, he's not a guy that runs much. He has about 17 rushing yards on the year. Scrambled for 3 there, and now it's going to be a 3rd and long. First time today Tigers have been in this situation.
And this is going to be a crucial play for the Thunder defense as well. If you can get off the field on 3rd downs, force Blue Valley to maybe into a field goal here. It'd be a pretty long one, but could be within their range. But forcing the 3 is way better.
So trips to the left of Aiello. He's got Stuvey at tight end on the right. Big drop back from Aiello. Looking, has a man. It's Westfall. There was a flag on that play. Connor Skahan reels him in for the tackle. And this is most likely going to be a hold on the offense, and that's what they're going to call. So Blue Valley won't end the play with the first down. They're going to have to move it back here 10 yards. That's going to make things even harder for this Blue Valley offense.
Absolutely. St. James catches a little bit of a break there. Grant Westfall, that's a nice route. We talked about him pregame, the sophomore, number 17. It's a great route, just kind of sat down right in the soft part of the zone, and Aiello was able to step up in the pocket and find him, and he turned for the first down, but fortunately they did have that holding call, which would bring him back, and likely, definitely out of field goal range now, so we'll see how the Thunder defense can respond here.
Yeah, so it's going to be a 3rd down and 20. This is a lot of yards that the Tigers are going to have to gain. We've seen St. James on a few of these plays this year. They've struggled in this sort of situation to contain other offenses. And so you need to see, we talked about earlier, but the Westfall brothers, Grady and Grant, they need to really make sure those guys don't get deep. Safeties for St. James, Brady Boydson, no Hornback, can't let anybody behind him on this crucial 3rd down. Stuvey in motion, drops back. It's a screen to Stuvey, missed tackle by the Thunder. He has a long way to go to get the first. Skahan makes some contact, and he's going to be brought down after a gain of 4, maybe 5. Still a 3rd and long, or still a 4th and long rather, to get the first. And you have to wonder, are the Tigers going to go for it here? We saw the punt unit come on once. It looks like they might be coming on a second time here.
Yeah, great stand from the Thunder defense. You know, one of the worst things you can do on a 3rd and long, on the 3rd and 20 is let them get, 12, 15 yards, and all of a sudden they're back in field goal range. You want to keep them out or on the edge of. And so we'll see what they go with here, whether it'll be a punt or a kick.
Yeah, it looks like a kick. This is a really awkward spot, though, if you're the Tigers, right? You're from the 37. You're going to be punting this ball, so there's not a ton of room to punt for the punter here for Richmond. But I would watch for a fake if I was St. James. 14, 15, it's a lot of yards to go, but certainly possible. And here it is. There's a flag on the play. I think that was an illegal motion. He's not going to get close to the line to gain there. Jordan Boone and Ben Drury in on the tackle. I think St. James will start right there. Going to decline this penalty. Yeah, it is going to be a false start. Penalty declined. So St. James sniffed out the fake just as well as we did up here. And it's going to be them back on the offense for the Thunder.
If you wouldn't have said it, Will, I was about to. There was way too much motion on that punt for it to not kind of sound the alarm in my head that a fake could be coming. But great awareness from the defense. Like I talked about pregame, that discipline has been there early. They've been able to sniff out pretty much everything that Blue Valley's tried to do. So good stand, and now they've got the ball at the 40. Pretty decent field position here to see if they can go capitalize.
Yeah, when you see the special teams coach huddle up with special teamers for 15 seconds and really hammer into their head what they're going to do, you have to think maybe a fake is possible there. And we saw it there. It's going to be Tujak in motion. Quick touch pass to him. Tujak takes the contact. He gets maybe 3. Pushed out of bounds finally. That was Patrick Dennis, the senior corner.
And there it is again. You see St. James trying to get the ball wide outside. Clearly they don't want to kind of be in that middle of the field mess. Blue Valley obviously with a lot of size in the box. They want to get it out. They want to get it outside so that they can take on those secondary members. They can get linemen out there, bigger wide receivers to go block.
Yeah, and this is the second straight play. We've seen this 5-wide look from the Thunder trying to spread out this 3-3. It's going to be just a straight power from Beshore. Beshore just short of that first down. McGuire Richmond in on the tackle for the Tigers. Looks like he was maybe a half yard short. It's going to be 3rd and 1 now for the Thunder offense.
That QB run is something we saw work very well for the Thunder last week. Obviously, Tyson with that 60-ish yard touchdown against the Huskies that really kind of gave the Thunder a new breath of life. So I think that's something that they're going to keep in their back pocket as the season goes on, knowing, hey, maybe this isn't our go-to play, but if we need 6 yards, if it's a 2nd and long, we can go to this play and reliably pick up some yardage.
Yeah, more to that point, Jonathan. He has 170 rush yards on the year in 3 games. That's pretty darn good for Thunder. 3rd and 1. Tujak puts his head down. He comes up about a quarter of a yard short, maybe a foot short. St. James has struggled in these situations a lot this year, having to convert on 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and shorts. They've really struggled to get that yardage. St. James moves up about a football's length, and now it's going to be a 4th down, and you have to know the offense is staying on the field here. Tight formation, quick pitch. Tujak wasn't ready. And the Tigers are going to get the ball. And this has been about as sloppy of a start on both sides as it possibly could be.
Just looked like a miscommunication there between Tyson and John. Almost looked like Tyson thought John was going to swing out a little wide. He kind of threw the ball pretty hard right at him. Maybe the play call didn't register well in the huddle, but either way, defense back out there have the responsibility to get another stop here.
Yeah, and we've seen all year St. James in these 3rd and short, 4th and shorts, they go under center. They've ran a lot of counters off that. When teams are expecting the QB sneak, they go tosses and other sorts of maybe passes, stuff like that. That time, St. James unable to communicate well enough for that to work. They're going to give to the back here. Raquette chasing him down. Gain of a couple for Stekowiak there.
And that's what we were talking about, getting the running back or just that runner down on first contact. When Max Raquette hits him, he can't get away. You saw Hank Schreiner get right to him right when Max Raquette was able to slow him down, only pick up 2 yards, and that's huge. The difference between 2 and 6 is the difference between a punt and a touchdown drive.
Yeah, and it really matters on these 2nd and 3rd downs, like you said, Jonathan, having a 2nd and 8 versus a 2nd and 3, 2nd and 4. It's putting your defense in a much better spot. Stekowiak gets the ball again, and that's a 4, 5, 7-yard gain there for Stekowiak. That's just what we said St. James needs to not allow to happen. Got tons of yards on that play before he was even touched. It's going to be 3rd down and 1 for the Tigers.
Thunder defense has looked pretty good so far in this third quarter, though. I mean, obviously holding Blue Valley to 0, a team that scored 5 touchdowns in each of their first 2 games. Holding them to 0 in the first quarter is a pretty good feat. It's really can't ask for anything better. Obviously, you can't get less points than 0, so it's about as good of a start as you could ask for.
So 3rd down and 1. Stokoyak, St. James almost had him there. He's brought down. Andrew Moyer shot the gap and got very close to stopping him there, just ultimately couldn't make the tackle, and the Tigers get about 5 for a 1st down.
Yeah, and that's just a killer, right? When you've got 2 guys in the backfield that have got him by the feet and he's able to just tiptoe out of there, that really stinks for the Thunder, and that leads to a new set of downs for the Tigers.
Yeah, and you have to think all these carries that Stokoyak's getting here, you have to think maybe the play action with Aiello with these good receivers is coming soon. They give to Stokoyak again. He fights forward for 7, and you're seeing the O-line doing a lot of good work right now for the Tigers. For
sure. I was just about to say this O-line for Blue Valley is clearing some big lanes for Stokoyak to run through. You know, he gets 4 yards upfield before he's even touched on that play, and St. James cannot allow that to happen. Now, granted, this is maybe one of the better offensive lines they've gone against, but that's no excuse. They've got to find a way to get him early.
In motion with Stuvey. Play action. Aiello rolling. He's got a man. Barely complete to Hopper. It wasn't a great pass, but he was wide open, and the flag comes late. Possibly on the Thunder for a late hit or something there. Looks like a clean play from up here.
A great play design there by Blue Valley. 2 wide receivers running with Aiello on the rollout, just kind of putting outside linebacker Jordan Boone there in a bind. You know, there's one a few yards behind him, one a few yards in front of him. Which one is he going to cover? Which one is going to be open?
So it's going to be on the Thunder there. It's going to move half the distance to the goal line. So the Tigers get up to about the 7-yard line there. And yeah, that was a great play design there. How you beat a zone is you flood it, and St. James did flood that zone very, very well there. Now it's going to be 1st and goal from the 7 for the Tigers. Stokoyak gets it. 1 cut, back inside, gets about 4. Hornback and Boydson, the safeties, combining for a nice tackle there. Gain of 3 for Stokoyak, and it's going to be 2nd down and about 4 in a 2nd and goal situation.
This is something we talked about last week, is the bend but don't break for the defense. You know, even though it's very tough when they're inside the 10 and have 4 plays to get a touchdown, that's what separates good defense, a good defense from a great defense, and that can be the difference in the game, is giving up 3 versus giving up 7 when they're deep in the red zone. Investments, tax planning, retirement, insurance. Managing all aspects of your financial life can be overwhelming. That's where Claudic Wealth Management comes in. We'll help you fit each piece of the financial puzzle together. Schedule your free assessment today by texting GO THUNDER to 913-402-6099. Claudic Wealth is a proud supporter of St. James and the Crimson Club.
In Volume 2 of our Yearbook Best Of series, we showcase our red carpet experience. Back here to the Thunder Broadcasting Network. Still a 0-0 game in the first quarter of this one. We're about to head to the 2nd quarter. Both teams looking real sloppy. This is a Tigers defense that only gave up 7 points in the first couple weeks. You're seeing them really show up to play. And the offense for both sides has looked lackluster at best, really struggling to move the ball down the field and struggling a lot with turnovers on both sides as well.
For sure, it's just lack of execution on both sides. You know, the 2 turnovers early, obviously you saw two fumbles from St. James compared to just 1 with Blue Valley. And really it's just whichever team can lock in first, and really, you know, I talked about it pregame, whichever team can execute their game plan better is going to have the advantage in this game. And neither team really did it well in the first quarter, so definitely looking for both sides to clean it up in the 2nd.
Absolutely. It's going to be real key. Whatever team plays cleaner football is going to win the games. That's how it's been in all 3 St. James games so far. They need to clean up just a little bit to put themselves in a good position here. This is an extremely tight formation. It almost looks like they're kicking a field goal. Is the sort of formation you would go to here. It's a lot like what you see Aquinas run with this sort of a flex bone option where you have the players super tight, so then you can get the ball to guys and give them room to spread out once they get the ball. But very different from what we've seen from Blue Valley all night long if they stay in this formation here. They will 2nd and goal from the 5. They have a guy under the guard. It's going to be a direct run with Stuvey. Stuvey, touchdown, won't matter. He got held. Did Ben Drury, the corner. And that's going to be brought back for sure. Pretty obvious hold by the player on the Tigers side there.
Yeah, right in front of the ref on the end zone. It's kind of hard to get away with that. But I think St. James does need to be a little bit careful. That tight end, number 18, did play quarterback for 2 years, so him rolling out in a position like that, I think St. James has got to be wary of a potential pass. We know he's got the arm to do it. I know he can do it. And like you said pregame, Will, that little bit of trickery can go a long way, especially if you can catch the defense sleeping.
Yeah, no, both their trick plays they've had so far, Stuvey's getting the ball on both the punt and on that play there out of the Wildcat. Stuvey's the guy getting the ball. They love getting the ball in his hands in any way they can. Ultimately, it hasn't worked very well so far through 2 attempts. So now they're at the 16-yard line, losing 10. Now it's 2nd down. Aiello drops back, pumps fakes, rolling up. He has a man. It's Westfall. He's still on his feet. Skahan with the tackle. Boydston finished him off there. That was Grady Westfall, gain of about 10. It's going to be 3rd and goal from the 6 now for the Tigers.
And even though you talked about how Aiello doesn't have many rush yards in the season, like you saw there, he's still very mobile around the pocket. You know, his footwork is very good. He can kind of move around those rushing linebackers and defensive linemen. Does a great job avoiding it, stepping up in the pocket, staying calm, finding that easy throw to Grady Westfall over the middle there.
And frankly, these haven't been great rushes that St. James has gotten when Aiello has stepped up. So when St. James does get some of these better rushes like we know their D-line is capable of, that's where I would watch out for a sack and a big play for a Thunder. Stokoyak gets the ball, wide open hole, touchdown for the Tigers. And Stokoyak punches it in. St. James not ready for the run on the 3rd and goal from the 8. And ultimately, Stokoyak brings it in. 4-6 for Blue Valley.
And there's that offensive line dominance again, just clearing a runway for him to run right in, was barely even touched. You saw St. James go with a little bit of a different formation there. They rushed about 6 or 7 guys, and the offensive line, credit to them, did a great job picking it up, and he was able to just run right in.
So Richmond on to kick now, the PAT for Blue Valley. Good snap and hold. Kick is up, and it's true. So 7-0, Tigers score first in this one. First score comes about a minute into this second quarter rather, for the Tigers. Now St. James offense has to respond well. They've had odd field position both times, pretty good field position. St. James offense not really used to that, so this drive presumably going to start probably around the 20-25-yard line, where St. James offense is a little more comfortable starting their drives off at.
They've just got to find a way to get into a rhythm. You know, it's impossible to do that really when you turn the ball over twice in one quarter. So if they can just string together a few plays, really get that offense going. I mean, we saw what they're trying to do. They're trying to get the ball out quick, and it has been working. They've been able to pick up the yardage. They just got to take care of the ball.
So Cecil Wysong on to kick. As the kickoff specialist here, St. James will let it go through the end zone. Drive will start at the 20-yard line now for the Thunder. You said, Jonathan, the big thing for St. James's drive, hold on to the ball. We've seen, turnovers in pretty much every way this season. We've seen interceptions. We've seen fumbles from the running back. We've seen fumbles from receivers. We've seen bad snaps. We've seen miscommunication. We've seen pretty much everything. So it's not really an issue that's solvable just by one guy. It's really a whole team effort on holding on to the football in this drive. Beshore looking for a quick pass. He has Neeson, his first catch of the day. Nice little out route there, gets about 7. He's brought out by Dawson Merritt, the Alabama commit at linebacker.
And there it is, getting Neeson involved with just that quick out route. That's something we're going to continue to see tonight, is them getting the ball out of Tyson's hands quick. And another thing to pay attention to is this Blue Valley defense changes their coverage a lot. You know, they drop into a quarters coverage there with 4 guys deep, but on some of these guys, depending on who they're blitzing, that secondary coverage is going to be different, so it's going to be tough for Tyson to get an accurate read.
Yeah, it's going to be key for Tyson Beshore to really, see what's in front of him during the play, not just pre-play. On these 4-man blitz, he has Chase deep. Incomplete. Pass was intended for Parker Chase there. A lot of coverage from Patrick Dennis, number 5, at corner. Dennis much shorter than Parker Chase. Dennis is 5'9", Chase listed at 5'11", but plays bigger than that at 190 pounds. So St. James liked their look there, went deep, ultimately didn't work out.
For sure, you do love to see a little bit of that early aggression. Just let Blue Valley know, hey, we can't throw the deep ball and we're willing to. And now they've got to convert on this 3rd and short.
3rd down and 3. St. James couldn't get their 3rd and 1 last drive. Beshore, big drop back. He goes to Tujak. He is hit hard. Tigers were ready for that one. Patrick Dennis making the contact there, and St. James looks like punt unit is going to come out now.
A lot of pressure in Tyson's face on that one. Blue Valley twists their tackles and their DN. The tackle goes outside, lets the DN come inside. And that creates kind of a communication nightmare for the offensive line. And that's something we talked about has to be at the top of their game, is that O-line communication. But when that many big guys are going that many different spots, it can be very tough. And we saw why. Tyson had 3 guys in his face.
Bad snap. That's not what you want to see. Boydston trying to recover it. He's still on his feet, and he is down. He is brought down by Stuvey inside the 5. And St. James, it's been special teams all year. This unit has just not been up to par for the Thunder all year long. Feels like there's a mistake pretty much every game that really gives up 7 in the other team's favor. That was a big one right there. St. James lucky to not give up a touchdown on that play.
For sure.
Now the Tigers are going to start their drive.
For sure. We noticed it week 1 against Miege, just letting them get up to the 40, 45 on the returns. And that's something you literally just mentioned, Will, is the lack of a consistent snap, which every play's got to start with a snap. The snap's got to be perfect, especially when you're giving them the ball inside the 5. That's just putting them straight on their defense for no reason.
So back to that Wildcat-type formation now. Stewie can't throw out of this, the former quarterback, now playing tight end. It's a read option. Touchdown, it looks like it is. So the 2nd touchdown of the night for Stakoyak, and he punches it in. 1-play drive for the Tigers results in the touchdown. St. James Knight needs to find some answers fast.
For sure, not really much you can ask your defense to do when you give them the ball inside the 5-yard line, especially with how talented this Blue Valley team is and the size they have up front. This run game has proved very potent throughout this first quarter and a few minutes here.
So McGuire Richmond back on now for his 2nd PAT of the night. Kick is up and good, so Tigers go up 14-0 now over the Thunder. St. James needs to find a response fast. At Luxury and Imports, you'll find a top-notch car dealership with over 200 carefully selected pre-owned vehicles. Luxury and Imports offers the complete auto experience, service, body shop, rent-a-car, and car sales. Their staff is driven to provide 100% satisfaction, ensuring a stress-free car shopping experience every time. Discover their motto, the right car, the right price, the smart choice. Located in Leavenworth, Kansas, visit Luxury and Imports for your next car shopping experience. Parker Chase and John Tujak back to return once again for the Thunder. Wysong on to kick. He booted it out of the end zone on the last drive for the Tigers. And it looks like the same will happen here. So St. James will start their drive again at the 20. 3 offensive drives for Thunder. All have resulted in turnovers on downs or turnovers of the football. Jonathan, how do you think St. James can find a way to really end a drive not in a turnover?
They just have to settle in. They look very rushed. It looks like you know, maybe this pressure of Blue Valley is getting to them a little bit. They just have to relax and trust that their system is going to get some yards. You know, that's something we hear that I have been frequently told in basketball, but in football too. You got to just trust that your plays are going to work and that your players are going to go make a play.
Yeah, it's something Jude talked about in the pregame show, that you just got to trust yourself, trust your stuff, and they can beat pretty much anybody. That is a hit that B-Shore took there. That was Austin Cornett, the linebacker. And that's what St. James wants to avoid on those runs with B-Shore. You have to time them well, because you make a mistake like that, the defense is ready, and you get absolutely rocked like B-Shore did there. B-Shore drops back, big blitz. He's going to go Tujak. Tujak one-on-one on the outside. Burst of speed. It's a first down for the Thunder. St. James needed some life for the offense, and Tujak provided it.
And there you go. There's that just quick little pass to the flat. Nice simple throw for Tyson to try to just get the rhythm of this offense. And to go along with what we were talking about a little bit earlier, you know, Jude said on the pregame show that Coach Radke and all the players really believe that the only team that can beat them is themselves. And that's really what's been happening tonight. The Thunder have just been beating themselves. Blue Valley really hasn't done anything special to get this 14-0 lead. It's just been costly mistakes by the Thunder.
Albright in motion for St. James. Tujak gets the ball. Not great blocking. Tujak fought forward, got about 3. McGuire Richmond in on the tackle for the Tigers there. It's going to be a 2nd and 7 for the Thunder.
We talked about pregame, the line of scrimmage domination and how the game is won in the trenches. And so far, Blue Valley is winning that war down there. You know, they're getting contact early. They're getting contact 1-2 yards after the line, and they're bringing them down instantly.
Yeah, we talked about with B-Shore how the 3-3-5 defense causes some confusion. It caused a lot of confusion on that O-line on the run and the pass. It looks like the hard count got the Tigers to jump off sides, so St. James will move up 5. And that's one of those things, credit to St. James, the discipline there to not jump off sides, not have the false start. We've seen them struggle with that on a few of those hard counts this year, but St. James, the hard count works in their favor there. They get 5 extra yards.
For sure, and when your offense really is not in a rhythm, you're going to take yards any way you can get them.
So it's going to be a 2nd down and 2 for the Thunder. This is a position on the field. Everything's available. You could go deep shot here knowing you have the 3rd and 2, or a quick pass or a run to try to pick up the first here. Tujak flex out. They're going to pump to him. Almost picked off. Chase caught it. Richmond in on the tackle there. Gain of 6. You see, it feels like Blue's really sitting on a lot of these short routes that St. James is trying to throw to right now.
That's what St. James is looking for due to their really bull rush, pass rush. That they have a lot of size up front in that line. They're getting kind of just an extra guy in that short-ish route range.
He's going to check into the game now for Tujak at running back.
As we've seen so far in this drive, you know, obviously still got a lot of field to go, but St. James is moving the ball slowly but surely. They look like they're maybe starting to find a rhythm. And they had to keep taking care of the ball, obviously, because if they turn it over, defense is right back on the field. Talked a lot about how defense spends too much time on the field the past few weeks. They got to just keep this drive going.
Play action here. Wide open man was Albright. A rare miss from B-Shore. We don't see that a lot from him. Albright was open and sailed on that one. So now it's going to be a 3rd and 7 passing situation, you would think, for St. James here. This is a St. James team. They really rely on Parker Chase and Sam Neeson. Those two have 75% of the yards gained through the passing game for St. James this year. So those two are the guys that, you know, Blue Valley's going to really key in on big plays like this. B-Shore drops back, not much pressure, and incomplete. Intended for Alex Jett there. Once again, Patrick Dennison covered. St. James going his way a lot tonight, but to no success.
Yeah, Dennis has been very good over in the secondary. You know, we saw him cover Parker Chase on a deep route, great positioning there. Now we see him on Jett. Just a little bit, maybe of miscommunication there between Tyson and Albright and then Jett. It looks like Tyson's maybe putting the ball where it needs to be, and the receivers aren't there. It's hard to tell. It's 2 passes that could have easily been caught, had a lot of space, but ultimately St. James is going to have to punt.
Good snap this time, Boydston. Low kick, it's going to go far. High bounce. St. James will get it down at the 14 here. And that's where the Tigers will start their drive. And now we send it to volume 3 of our best of series, courtesy of our yearbook photographers. In this volume, we take a look back at our grandparents' mass from September. Drop back is Aiello. Lots of contact there. It is legal contact, seeing that it was within 3 yards of the line of scrimmage. Looked like Blue Valley trying to do a little bit of what St. James has done all night, trying to get a quick one for Aiello. Ultimately doesn't work. It's going to be 2nd and 10.
Great coverage by Boone there, and like you said, well, that's a physical route, and since it's within 3 yards, he's allowed to be up and physical with the receiver, play that press coverage. He does a great job diving and getting his hand in there to force the incompletion. That's kind of an element of physicality that this team's going to need all night long.
2nd down and 10 now for the Tigers at the 14. Drops back. He's just going to chuck it deep to Westfall. Nothing close there. Overthrown by about 5 yards. Never had a chance. It's going to be 3rd down and 10. Connor Skahan in coverage there for the Thunder. And now Blue Valley in a little bit of a difficult situation here.
Yeah, this is one of those 3rd and longs that we talked about St. James wants to get them into. And really fortunate that Aiello overthrew Westfall there, because he may have had to step on Connor, even though Skahan was there in pretty good position. Yeah, 3rd and 10 will be interesting to see what Blue Valley goes with here. Deep in their own territory as well.
Yeah, it's a situation where we've talked about all year, but Max Requet, Aiden Dreiling, the ends, you tee off here, you go for the quarterback. You know you're not seeing a run, so you get your best pass rush going. It's going to be Aiello. They have him out of the pocket. It's complete right at the 1st down marker. Flag on the backside of the play. I'm guessing it's on the offense. We will see here. And it looks like it's going to be probably a hold on the Tigers. They're going to call an eligible man downfield, so that means the lineman was too far downfield on that play.
Another fortunate break on 3rd down for the Thunder. Another play where Blue Valley picks up the 1st down, but a penalty brings them back and sets them back even farther. St. James got to find a way to get off the field here.
Yeah, it feels like outside of that, about 3 minutes spurt at the end of the 1st, beginning of the 2nd for Blue Valley. This really has just been a game where it feels like both teams are just trying to lose the game right now and just trying to hand off, and nobody's really been taking it. Outside of that, about 3-minute stretch for the Tigers. Now 3 receivers to the right, tight end on the left. We're running the same concept. Big drop back Aiello. He might have a man. Incomplete. He went to Lockett there. One of the Lockett twins, Jacob and Jordan, brother of Tyler Lockett, plays for the Seahawks in the NFL. But ultimately falls incomplete. It's going to be a 4th and 15 now.
And that's a 2nd deep shot where Aiello's really just overthrown the receiver. Definitely on that one had to step on Ben Drury. And something we talked about pregame is secondary's got to make sure everything is staying in front of them. And on this drive, they showed a few cracks in their coverage. I think that's maybe something Blue Valley can see and maybe utilize going forward. So St. James is going to have to tighten that up for sure.
Blue Valley going to be punting from their own end zone here. Can't afford a bad snap. It was a low snap. McGuire Richmond, high punt. Hornback, fair caught at the 50-yard line, and he was hit, and that is not going to be an easier call for the refs than that one. Pretty obviously put his hand up and then took an absolute shot from Austin Cornett.
Did a great job selling it to him, might I add. That was an Oscar-worthy acting job, but you can't run into him at all, so it's still a penalty no matter what.
Yeah, Hornback has to be real proud of himself getting his team 15 yards on a play like that.
You love to see it. Him get hit, and about a half second later, he just kind of throws himself onto the ground. But hey, like we talked about, yards are yards.
And it was a legit hit. It wasn't one of those,
Absolutely.
Just going to touch you with the hand. I mean, he hit him, but I agree. Hornback might have exaggerated that just a bit. Regardless, 15 yards. St. James only has 35 to go into the end zone. Like I was just saying a moment ago, it feels like really this game is for the taking. If St. James wants it, this offense can go get them, some points on the board pretty easily here.
And this is the drive to do it. I mean, shortest field position of the night pretty much for the Thunder. They just got to find a way to string together maybe 7 plays to get into that end zone.
Quick pass, Neeson. A lot of blockers heading his direction, gets about 6. You have to think St. James, they're throwing so many short routes, these runs. They haven't attempted one deep ball to my memory so far. You got to wonder, when's that deep ball coming, because you know that is the thing that really makes the St. James offense go.
For sure, but you got to have the protection up front to do it and allow the receivers to get that separation. So I think we will see it eventually in this game. It's just a matter of, like you said, well, when is it coming?
Quick drop back, Chase. Caught, first down of about 9. Dennis making the tackle there.
Good blitz pickup from the offensive line as well on that one. That's something I talked about a little bit earlier, how this 3-3-5, you only start with 3 up front. That usually means you've got a 4th blitzer coming on almost every play, if not every play, and it's up to the offensive line to decide who's coming, where's he coming from, and can you communicate out of that.
So 2 quick pass plays work well for St. James, move the ball forward a good amount, about 13 yards from where they started the drive. A lot of trips today, you're seeing that again. Beshore, free rusher is Merritt. Beshore takes the run. Smart play there. He got flushed from the pocket fast and got 5. Beshore, he's taking a couple tough hits today. You definitely don't want to see that if you're a St. James offense.
Yeah, ideally he's sliding or just not getting hit, but I mean, he's a tough guy. He wants to pick up these yards. He wants to win. He's willing to sacrifice his body to do it. Now, whether that's in the best interest of the team is another story, but you love to see just the competitive nature from him. And like you said, Will does a great job there of just taking what's there, running right up the middle into that hole that was created.
Yeah, we talked about earlier, rotating offensive linemen. We're going to see it a lot. We just saw Jack Marcia come in at left tackle for Luke Neff. We've seen a lot of rotating already on that line. Good read by Beshore. Tujak gets it. Rumbling forward. He's going to fall about a yard short of the first down there. Most of the time on that sort of read option when they're reading the B gap, you're seeing Beshore keep a lot. That time, Blue Valley had it covered, and they gave it to Tujak.
I think
good read there.
I think they're worried about Beshore's legs. I think they've seen him on tape, and they've seen in this game that he can cause a little bit of damage, especially in mid to short yard situations. So really, you're just putting the defense in a bind there. It's who are they going to choose, and you're just going to give it to the other guy there. Beshore, like you said, makes a great read.
3rd down and 3. Neeson and Chase both at the bottom of your screen. The right of Beshore here. It's going to fake the pitch. Beshore's got to go. He's got to throw. Incomplete. Great play by Dennis on the outside. He was ready. Looks like Neeson took a shot there as well. The intended target for a Thunder. St. James is going to have to just try to get whatever points they can here. They're going to go for the field goal on 4th and 3. It's going to be about a 33-yard kick now for Johnson. Johnson hasn't attempted many this close. It's been a lot of long field goals attempted so far this year. It's a big one for St. James. Only 2 on the clock. Blow it dead late. Kick was money. Unfortunately, it will not count. Let's see. St. James is going to take the delay of game. Interesting choice. Sometimes when teams do that, that's an intentional thing, but most of the time when that's the case, you see them do it for moving back to give yourself one more room to punt. This time on a field goal, not sure what the rationale would be for the delay of game. On a delay of game on a play like that, you have to think, maybe the coaches could have made the decision to kick the field goal a couple seconds sooner and get the guys out there ready.
And I believe on a play like that, don't you have an option to take a timeout instead of the delay game penalty too? So could have done that and must have faith in Ben Johnson's leg to get it there from about 37.
Yeah, must have thought the timeout more valuable than the 5 yards. Let's see if the coaches were right. Bad snap and a flag. I think it's on St. James. If that's the case, St. James moves back 10 yards here. So it's going to be encroachment on the defense, and we're back to where we started, 4th and 2. St. James can move up 5, back to the 33-yard field goal from the right hash for Johnson. Johnson likes kicking from that right hash instead of the left hash. That's where we see a lot of his kickoffs come from. He's probably a little more comfortable on that side, kicking the field goal here. Good hold by Wonder. Kick is up. It looks good, and it is. So St. James gets their first points on the board via the leg of Ben Johnson, making it a 14-3 game with 4.5 to go in the first half. Go enjoy a smoothie with a purpose. Visit Smoothie King, located at Moncello Center in Western Shawnee. Their mission is to inspire people to live a healthy, active lifestyle, to be an integral part of everyone's fitness journey. Go to Smoothie King to rule the day. BSN Sports specializes in high-quality products for all sports and age groups, with uniforms, coaches' gear, footwear, and Booster Club items. They are the St. James Academy partner in athletic wear and proud supporters of the Crimson Club.
CatholicFaithStore.com is a local St. James family-owned business offering Catholic medals, rosaries, statues, and more. And they're another great sponsor of the Crimson Club. Thunder families get a 10% off their purchase with code SJA10 at CatholicFaithStore.com. That's the letters SJA and the number 10.
So St. James finally getting some points on the board, avoiding the shutout in the first half. Still going to be down 2 scores, though, as they kick the ball off to the Tigers.
I think this is going to be an important possession for St. James because going into the half down 21-3 is not a place you want to be, whereas if they can maybe get a stop here, they do get the ball coming out, so if they could score, all of a sudden it's 14-10, you're right back in the game.
Yeah, you saw more signs of the normal St. James offense that drive. You want to see more of that in these future drives. Kick from Johnson. Westfall is going to let it go. Looked like he wanted to return that one, but ultimately decided against it. A little bit of chatter, and it is going to be a flag thrown. We saw Will Pattison and a Blue Valley player going at it there. I'm guessing this is going to be on Blue Valley, or is going to be offsetting penalties on both sides for unsportsmanlike or something of that sort. We've seen a lot of that tonight. Guys really going at it and kickoffs much after the play. This move Blue Valley back 15 yards, that would be a big development. And if it moved them up 15 yards because Pattison got the unsportsmanlike or personal foul penalty and Blue Valley didn't, that also would be a big development. So a lot rides on this call. Looks like they're talking to the St. James coaches, so they're going to move it back 15 yards. So offsetting penalties is the call, probably the right choice there when you see 2 guys going at it like that. Rarely is it just one guy's fault. So flag thrown on both of them. Remember, if you get 2 unsportsmanlikes, you are ejected from the game. So if you're thinking, hey, that doesn't really matter based on the yardage of the situation, it actually does matter because now Pattison and the Blue Valley player, they get another unsportsmanlike and they're kicked out of the game. So something to monitor, probably won't matter, but just something to keep in mind if that ends up mattering later on. Brought down, Aiden Dreiling. He has had a big day, and he almost got the ball, it felt like, on that handoff pitch, whatever it was. He was there for Stakoyak, and he gave him a surprise. Loss of 3 there on the tackle.
And it just gets right into that backfield unblocked, sticks the running back right as he gets the ball. That's the second time in this game we've seen him happen. That's exactly what we want to see. Like you said, Will, big week 1, kind of a quieter weeks 2 and 3. Good to see him kind of get his mojo back here in week 4. Making some big plays for the Thunder.
Yeah, he definitely has the talent and confidence to make it happen for the Thunder. Almost incomplete, and yeah, that's going to be 2 flags thrown. You hate it if you're St. James, right? Hank Schreiner laying a big hit on Hopper, and it's tough, right? If you had the ball, it's the right play. But I think Schreiner probably had time to see that that was not complete and could have maybe laid off and chose not to, so probably going to be 15 on the Thunder, going to give Blue Valley the free first down. That's a big mistake by St. James.
Yeah, you're right, Will. You know, like you said, if he catches the ball, that's a great hit, and you're forcing an incompletion there likely with the strength of that hit. You saw Coach Rathke get very upset after that. It's 2 15-yard penalties pretty much kind of in a row, 2 out of the past 3 or 4 plays. That's definitely not something you want to see as St. James giving up that valuable penalty yardage, and that's just a tough situation for Hank to be in.
Yeah, it's tough, right? I mean, if a guy does his job, that's a legal hit, you know? The receiver's job is to catch the ball, and he couldn't do that there, but Schreiner's the one that gets penalized. It's a tough thing for Hank, but ultimately it's a play you just can't make if you're a senior linebacker for the Thunder. Stakoyak gets the pitch, makes the corner. Drury missed there. Pushed out of bounds by Bevitt after a gain of about 3. And Tigers about a minute into this drive marching down the field nicely here.
And there you saw Drury kind of get his arm around running back into the backfielder at the line of scrimmage, just couldn't bring him down. He does do a good job of forcing him back inside so that the rest of the linebackers can go get him. You saw Jack Bevitt finish the tackle. But they got to just get 1 or 2 of those in the backfield tackles to get the Tigers even more behind the sticks.
So 2nd down and 7. False start on the Tigers. We have to be close to a record for most penalties in the first half right now because, man, it feels like every other play one of these teams is making a mistake.
I know, man. Can we just play some football without any of these yellow flags on the field?
Yeah, it's tough, man. And it feels like, you know, it's not one of those deals where you blame the refs, right? These are deserved penalties. These guys just need to clean it up on both sides of the football. Because we're just seeing a lot of mistakes on both sides. You know, both these coaches probably expect a lot more out of their teams in moments like this. Ayle's going to give to Stokoyak. Zone run. There's the D tackles, Moyer and Devers, bringing him down after a short gain, making a 3rd and long. Now St. James, they got to key in on Grady and Grant Westfall. We haven't said their name much tonight, but this is a situation where you know the Tigers are going to try to go to one of those 2 most likely.
And if you can get a stop here, you've still got probably 2 minutes and assumingly 2 timeouts because you'll probably take one to stop the clock and force provide a punt. You've got 2 timeouts and what's going to be maybe about a minute 45-ish on the clock to go. Try to get another field goal before the end of the half.
Big play here, though. Won't matter if St. James can't get the stop on this 3rd and 11. Bring the blitz are Thunder. Stokoyak with the draw. Gets 3. Dreiling and Schreiner combined for the tackle. It's going to be 4th and 8. Decision time for the Tigers. You got to think punt here if you're Blue Valley. Like you said, Jonathan, St. James elects to call that timeout now in the spot. Next in our best of series, our yearbook class brings us pictures from the senior retreat at Prairie Star Ranch. All right, so back out here are the Tigers, 2:08 left. Both student sections enjoying the YMCA song here. Always love playing here at Blue Valley. One of the best stadiums you're going to see in the state of Kansas. Now it's going to be McGuire Richmond back to punt for the Tigers. Hornback back to return. You know he wants to bring one back. Just needs the opportunity to do so. And that is not going to be it. That was not a good punt. Way out of bounds and very short.
Horrible punts.
I don't think St. James could have imagined they'd get field position that good. And not really sure what happened. That looked like it just went right off the left side of the punter's foot there. St. James will get to start this drive in Tiger territory.
Yeah, only 45 yards to go. Like we just said, you've got 2 minutes with 2 timeouts. Only 45 yards. You're not really in a big rush here. You can call pretty much every play you want. Obviously, you want to try to get the ball outside so you can get out of bounds and stop that clock. But ultimately, really the playbook is wide open right now. You can call runs, you can call passes. You could maybe try to take a deep shot on this early play. You probably don't want to do that and score right away and give Blue Valley time. But I think we could see a lot of creativity on this drive just to try to get on the board for the Thunder.
Yeah, St. James has been rotating a lot as well at receiver and line. I think you're going to see a lot less rotation here of the players. Probably just see these guys go 2-minute drill and see what they can make happen. Be sure he has a pocket. He goes to Tujak, fights forward for 9, and goes out of bounds. Tujak's been taking some hits today, and he's been responding well, giving out some hits of his own. 9-yard gain. St. James is going to Tujak a lot in the passing game. You saw Blue Valley cover it once really well. You have to worry a little bit that maybe Blue Valley is going to start sniffing out some of these plays and maybe make a play on the ball at some point on some of these quick passes to Tujak.
Yeah, you have seen him go to him. It's a really nice, easy throw from Tyson, but really that's not the first read that they're going to. That's kind of Tyson's backup read. So they can't cover everything at once. So if John's not open, probably someone else could be.
Quick pass, Neeson incomplete. Bishore, always a guy that's been really accurate in his time at St. James and Spring Hill both. But we just haven't seen some of that accuracy. It's the second or third ball that Bishore's just thrown maybe a little too far in front, just not quite connecting with those receivers in the same way that he has all season long. That's another area St. James needs to clean that up a little bit if they want to make a run in this game.
For sure, we've spent a lot of time talking about how he and the receivers are always on the same page, and their anticipation is really good. He's got to find a way to get back to that tonight.
3rd and 2, pitch to Tujak. Going. He is right at the line. It's going to be a tough call here for the referees. Forced out by Braden Gresham there. They're going to call a half a yard short. We've talked about it, St. James, they've struggled to convert on these all year long. You already saw them miss on one. Going back to that under center look. We've seen St. James do that a lot on 3rd and 4th and short. Fake the pitch. It's the pass. It's open and incomplete. Oh, man. You know Bishore wishes he had that one back. That's a touchdown if you hit him in stride. And it just wasn't there. So the Tigers are going to get back. They have plenty of time to go and put 7 more points up on the board of their own.
Yeah, for sure. 2 timeouts. And that's a much tougher throw than Bishore makes it look like. That quick drop, trying to get it out when you know you've got guys coming at you. And yeah, like you said, Will, it looked like it could have been a touchdown. Parker Chase really didn't have anyone in front of him. Just, again, threw it a little bit too far out in front of him. But now, as well, defense got a big job here. Got to prevent Blue Valley from putting more points up before the end of the half. Minute 17, 2 timeouts can be an eternity for an explosive offense like this.
Yeah, and his St. James offense has really put the defense in bad spots all night. They need another response here. Requette holds contained, and he is brought down at the end. That's Andy Devers, his first start of his career tonight, and he gets a big sack for St. James on 1st down.
Welcome to varsity, Andy. It's exactly what you love to see when your second string guy is coming in, getting put into the starting lineup and contribute with a big sack like that on what is probably going to be a pivotal drive in this game. Really nothing more you can ask for there.
Yeah, and that's a sign of a good program right there, right? Having those guys, second stringers, it's a cliche, but next man up really is important, especially at a high school level like this where injuries do happen and players got to get replaced a lot. Performance Rehab provides patients with effective outpatient rehabilitative care from physical therapy to sports medicine services to industrial injury rehabilitation. We are excited to welcome Performance Rehab as a new sponsor of the Crimson Club. So 2nd down and 15. We've talked a lot tonight, right, about Grady and Grant Westfall. These 2 receivers, they have all the hype around them. A couple of brothers that have really taken a lot of these teams by storm. We haven't said their name much tonight. Really, we haven't said a lot of these receivers' names tonight a lot because it's been a lot of the run game. Aiello hasn't completed a lot of passes, so Blue Valley, they need to figure out a way to start, getting some of these completions for Aiello in this offense here. It's going to be 3 to the left, 1 to the right. Big drop back. Got time. That's dropped. Incomplete. Hit Jack Ryan perfectly in stride on the deep out route there. And ultimately just incomplete. Once again, we've talked about it all night, just mistake after mistake. That time Blue Valley with the mistake was a great pass from Aiello. Perceivably probably an easy catch, just not hauled in by Ryan.
Absolutely put it right on the money. You did have Aiden Drawling in coverage there. The defensive end not really used to covering those wide receivers, but does a good job there. It looks like St. James going with a little bit of a different defensive alignment here.
And brought down, that's Jordan Boone. Boone has been a surprise, big-time impact guy for Thunder. Leads the team in tackles going into the game with 18 and a couple TFLs and gets a 3rd one there. Big play there against Stakoyak. St. James going to call their 2nd timeout. And once again, it feels like St. James maybe has a chance to get some points on the board. 59 seconds. You get a punt like McGuire Richmond had last time where it goes 10 yards, and St. James is right back in scoring range again.
Absolutely. And like you said, Will, Jordan Boone really thriving in that nickel corner position that St. James has him in. Pretty good in pass coverage, just as good as at stopping the run. Also responsible for those guys in the flat. Really has to be one of those versatile players on the defense, and he does it as well as anyone. That's why they've got him out there. That's why he leads the team in tackles.
Yeah, it's a key spot. We've seen a lot of big-time St. James contributors over the years play that sort of nickel-back slot. Like you said, Jonathan, it has a lot of responsibilities, right? You're covering the flats. You're, responsible for guarding a wide receiver while also making plays in the run game like a linebacker would. But Boone has taken that role really, really well so far this year. You'll have to see the season he's had. A guy that didn't play many varsity snaps before this year, really taking advantage of his opportunity so far. So Hornback back to return once again. McGuire Richmond will be kicking off, or punting rather, here. 59 seconds are on the clock. St. James gotten close to a block once or twice. Looks like number 4, Dawson Merritt, getting called over there and take him out. We saw a few games ago, I can't remember which game, but we saw one of these games that St. James had where the refs were pulling players out pretty much every other play for uniform stuff. And we really haven't seen it since, but maybe that's what's going on there with Merritt. High punt, much better this time. This is an absolute rocket up to the sky there. Caught by the Tigers at St. James's 43, so 57 yards for the offense. Normally, I think you feel good about this if you're St. James, but today with how the offense is played, this seems like kind of a tall task for the Thunder offense to drive down the field and put together a touchdown drive.
I agree, but again, this is also an opportunity for them to kind of hit the reset button and turn a new page in that offensive book to at least go down to at least get a field goal here, make it 14-6 with the opportunity to tie it coming out of halftime if you can put together a touchdown drive. Maybe you need about 30 yards here to get in the field goal range with Ben Johnson's legs, so 50 seconds in a timeout, I think they can do it if they just take care of the ball.
Be sure. Great pass there to Chase. That's such a hard pass to complete, but they trust Be Sure to do it, and he made the coaches look good there. Big first down into the Tigers' territory, into the 45.
An incredible route running by Parker Chase as well. Pushes his stem hard to sell that deep ball, and then just plants his feet right in the ground, turns around. Very hard for even the best DBs at high school to cover that, and Tyson does a great job finding him.
Yeah, and interesting, Brody Brugman and Max Albright, the two receivers next to Chase and Neeson, they've been trying to find who those other two should be all year long. Be Sure, great block by Tujak. Be Sure's got some room to run. He is really fast. You are seeing it there. First down and then some. Finally brought out of bounds there. That was Drew Arnett bringing him out after the first down, but you saw it right there. It was just linebackers and secondary members against Be Sure, and Be Sure beat him to the edge.
Yeah, there's that speed that we saw last week on his big scramble for a touchdown. He's a great athlete. It's really, he's obviously not as quick as Ben Wheeler was last year, but he can use his legs very well. He just seems like, it's kind of like Patrick Mahomes. He's always just fast enough to get out of the jam. Does a nice job there.
So 35 seconds for the Thunder offense at the 32 here. Be Sure's going to drop back. Protection there for a moment. Not anymore. Merritt forces him out. Brought down. It's going to be, I think, maybe a roughing the passer late hit on Merritt. We'll see here. It's going to be a hold on the offense, rather. Looks like maybe a last effort to try to pull Merritt away from Be Sure there. So that's going to set St. James back 10 more yards.
And that's a killer. Your offense has kind of been humming on this drive so far. Don't have that many more yards to go to get in that end zone. You're probably within field goal range potentially here, and then you get that holding call, you move back 10 yards. That's tough. You're getting yourself into an even bigger hole.
So 1st and 20 for the Thunder offense here. Two receivers will be on both sides of Be Sure. Tujak behind him. Tujak's done a great job in the pass blocking game tonight. And a good idea on the draw, and not the execution you want. Stuvie, Merritt, and others getting involved. St. James has to hurry. They tried to bring Puhala in. Puhala can't. And Puhala comes on the field. He wasn't off the field yet. It's going to be a 5-yard penalty because he was on the field when Be Sure spiked it. And once again, just for whatever reason tonight, St. James looked really, really sloppy. And we talked about it, Jude. I know we keep saying it, man, but this is the St. James team that believe that the only team that can beat them is themselves, and they are getting beat very badly by themselves so far tonight.
For sure, it's just a lack of execution, no attention to detail from the Thunder in this first half, and really, I think they're lucky to only be down 11 points right now with how many misfortunes and kind of negative plays the offense has had in this first half. If they can just find something to hang their hat on, I think what it's going to be is the fact that when they haven't turned it over, they put points up on the board. When they haven't had a lot of these negative plays, it's worked.
Yeah, and we just haven't seen that tonight. I mean, every drive has had multiple of those just really bad mistakes. B-Shore's going to try to run. Gets out of bounds at the 41. It's going to be a gain of 8 for B-Shore. 2 seconds left.
Looks like they're going to bring out Ben Johnson.
Well, this is a risky choice for St. James. This is almost a 60-yard field goal. I think Blue Valley's probably surprised to see Ben Johnson out here to kick here, but
hey, why not?
If you're St. James, yeah, I mean, this is more likely to work than a Hail Mary, so, you might as well. Merritt falls to the ground for Blue Valley. Looks like maybe he's cramping or something on that one.
There's an injury in the play.
Yeah, I believe I said it earlier. We've seen Ben Johnson hit from 52 in warm-ups. This will be about a 58-yarder. So I guess we'll see if he has the leg and the accuracy to get it there. If he makes this probably one of the longer field goals that St. James program, that's actually would be interesting to see what the longest field goal ever is.
Yeah, there's no way this would not be the longest field goal in St. James history. This would, I mean, a near 60-yard field goal. You're pushing Kansas State records there, I would think. But I mean, it shows a lot of trust that the staff has in Ben Johnson, that they're putting him out there.
He's going to end up on Barstool Sports if he makes this.
He will, man. This is going to be a legendary call if he can put this one through. Like you mentioned, we've seen him hit from about 52. He's had the leg on some of these ones, pushing 55 plus. The accuracy has always been the thing. The other thing, you have to get a good snap. St. James, you saw it earlier on the punt, didn't have it there. So a good snap is key here for Ben Johnson.
And I absolutely don't want to jinx this, but you cannot let Blue Valley return this for a touchdown, like we saw Auburn do against Alabama.
59-yard kick, not a great snap. That is not going to get there. It is short, and we got a return. And it's blown dead. That's not fun.
Would have liked to at least see.
Yeah. Oh, there's a flag.
If this is on the defense, I believe they get a re-kick.
Yeah, we're going to do it all over again.
Defensive penalty. Maybe won't break the record anymore, but it still could.
Yeah, it's still going to be
54, 53.
Heck of a distance. Yeah, 54. They had Patrick Dennis, the corner, back there to return, and Blue Valley staying on the field. It looks like it is on the Tigers, most likely. And it only feels fitting that on a play like that, we're going to have a penalty because, I mean, it's been penalty after penalty all game long. It would feel wrong if we only had this kick happen once with how this game has gone.
Absolutely.
Okay.
After the play.
All right. So that's going to move St. James forward 15 yards, and that realistically gives St. James a chance, and it's declined.
Because it was after the play, so it's halftime.
So the penalty, like you said there, Jonathan, after the play, so it's not going to, unfortunately for St. James, it's not going to be another replay of that play. So St. James goes into the half down 14-3. And this is St. James team. They've looked really sloppy. Jonathan, outside of, fixing all these mistakes we've seen, what do you think St. James can do to try to bring themselves back into this football game?
Well, I don't really know if there is a lot they can do. When they haven't made these mistakes, they really haven't looked too bad. Really, their defense has only given up 7 in this half. I'm not really going to put that 4-yard drive in one play on the defense. And only giving up 7 to this Blue Valley team in one half is extremely good. That's something you definitely have to see continue. The defense has been very good, aside from the secondary, maybe with a few cracks in it. They're looking very good offensively. Like you said, we've been peeing down our legs the whole game. We just got to find a way to clean up these mistakes. And if we can do that, I think we've shown the ability to put up points. Now this first drive in the second half is going to be crucial because if you can get a touchdown here, maybe you go for 2 and then all of a sudden you're within a field goal, So we're just going to have to see.
All right, let's send it to the TBN Pulse now as we head off to halftime.
From Thunder Studios in Lenexa, Kansas, this is TBN Pulse.
Hello, Thunder. Welcome to our second episode of TBN Pulse. My name is Luke Tepfer, and in today's episode, Peyton Coffey and Grant Reuter are doing a new teacher profile on Miss Wiest. Sal Valera will be doing a cross-country week in review, and Will Spencer and Joe Peterson will be doing a new teacher profile on Coach Rick Byers. First, we'll send it off to Peyton and Grant with Miss Weiss.
So I went to school here, being back in the community and being able to be with the students and help advance the mission of St. James. I came back to work here because of how much I love the school and how much of an impact St. James had on me when I was a student here and when I graduated. I knew I wanted to first I wanted to help with sports, and then I had the opportunity to help as a staff member too. The mission of St. James, and it's to make saints and get people to heaven. We're kingdom builders here as staff at St. James, and that's our main goal.
Thank you, Grant and Peyton. We will now send it on to Sal with our cross-country review.
Welcome to week 2 of the cross-country season at ODAC for the Olathe Twilight Meet. This course is one of the fastest on the schedule, and we saw some great PRs from across the board. We kicked off the night with the C Team girls race, Greta Sund and Emma Piscatello finishing in the top 20, helping getting their team a 5th place result. The C Team boys also had a great race with great PRs from Ethan White and Mitchell McCall. After that, as the sun began to set, it was the JV girls' turn to run, with Allison Meyer and Kira Rodian finishing in the top 5, with Meyer scoring a 2nd place finish. Due to a false start, the JV field got split in half. Nevertheless, Jacob White and Tommy Millard had great races. We figured out that the rest of the JV boys would run in the varsity boys race. As night fell, it was time for the varsity girls and boys race, with the varsity girls scoring a 3rd place team result, with Quinn Hayes and Caitlin Mangini both finishing inside the top 20 in a packed field. With the extra JV boys in this race, Avery Moose both ran great races.
99, and we've just been great friends ever since. And so that was a big attraction, and also just coming to be able to be at a place where I felt comfortable sharing my faith with everyone. So. Well, I was, the last 3 years I was at Turner High School over in Kansas City, Kansas. I was the head football coach and athletic director. Spent 3 years there, and before that I was at Blue Valley North for a year, and then before that I was at St. Pius X in North Kansas City for 33 years. So. My first job was I taught PE, and I was the head freshman football coach at Fort Scott High School. That is the alma mater of our athletic trainer, Mr. Adam. So I was there at Fort Scott and loved that. Like I said, just sharing my faith. I enjoy the whole community, and it's a short drive from my house. I'm 5 minutes away, and it just seems like a nice place to kind of, put that cherry on top of a good teaching career.
Thanks, Will and Joe. Thank you for watching today, and we will see you next time on TBN Pulse. God bless, and go Thunder.
We still need your help.
To stay on track!
What's up? Hoorah!
The Spark Center is where students can come to help with learning, enrichment, collaboration. So say you're working on a problem or writing an essay and you get stuck in seminar and you're like, I just don't know what to do. You can ask your seminar teacher or study hall teacher. You can come on down during the day. We'll solve your problems and you can get right back to work so that you can be more efficient and have fun at home. We are open every hour, 1 through 8. We do take a lunch for 6th hour. We're open during Thunder Block and late start mornings from 8 to 9. Our juniors and seniors are spark plugs. They've applied and been hired, and they give up 40 minutes, half of their study hall, every study hall time to come and help you. We also take care, we have 2 teachers, a math teacher and an English teacher every hour, also here to help you to fill in the holes. Anyone. I mean, we have freshmen who come every time. We have sophomores who have been waiting for weeks to come down since we opened. And we have juniors and seniors. We've got seniors who are studying for tests right now back there, writing on the walls to practice their AP Bio. So it's all ages. And it is something that we enjoy and that's worthwhile for you, and we want you to come.
But I own it. No stranger to the moment. You won't make me feel alone. You say that I'm broken, not trying to fit into your mold. I'm better off for disregard you in the summer. I'm not calling out for you. Yeah, they never want to trip like you to wear me out. But if you're standing with me, don't hold on to the fire till it burns you to the ground. Are you famous or outspoken or just trying to live in the moment? Does it make you feel alive? And I'm trying to let you fake it your own way, but in time your mountain will crumble down and it will make you feel alone. I'll disregard you in this summer. I'm not calling out for you. Yeah, I never wanna trip like you really are. But if you're standing with me, don't hold on to the fire till it burns you to the ground. And I never wanna trip like you to wear me out. But if you're standing with me, don't hold on to the fire till it burns you to the ground.
And we welcome you into the booth here. I'm Will Nichols alongside Jonathan May. 14-3, St. James is down going into the second half, and plenty of mistakes, too many to count really for St. James so far. But I think if you're looking at things optimistically, Blue Valley hasn't played great so far either. They've made a lot of mistakes of their own, so St. James, certainly a winnable game, but they need to clean a lot up here, don't they, Jonathan?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really whichever team is going to come out in the second half without those mistakes is going to come out and win this game, I think. St. James got a great opportunity here. They get the ball first. They can go turn this into potentially a one-score game. And so I think if they can just get their offense rolling, like you said, well, lots of mistakes, that's really been the story of the game. If they can clean that up, I like their chances. The defense has played really well in the first half, only giving up 7 points. Again, I said I'm not giving those 7 inside the 5 to them. That's really on special teams. But if they can just clean up the mistakes, they've got as good of a chance as anyone.
Yeah, and it really feels like on both sides it's been a mistake-filled half, and a lot of it falls on the quarterbacks, Chris Aiello and Tyson Beshore, both two of the more talented passers, just pure passers you're going to see in the pocket in the EKL, and both of them, there's been a lot of inaccurate throws, a lot of balls that could have been picked off that were not on both sides, and really just a lot of incompletions both ways. So I think that's the big thing. If you're looking at Blue Valley's offense, they need to do a little better is establish some of those passes to the outside and to Stuvie, the tight end. St. James, same exact thing. You need to get Beshore going whatever way you can. Every game so far, all 3 games, it felt like has had that rhythm at some point in the game. Really hasn't had it so far tonight. St. James needs to find a way to get him that rhythm early on here in the third quarter.
For sure, his connection with the receivers has just looked a little bit off in that first half, missing them just by a few yards. And it looks like that 15-yard penalty from the first half is affecting the kickoffs. They're kicking off from only the 25 here, so we should see pretty decent return, hopefully.
Tujak gets it at the 11. Gets to 27 untouched. He still is going. Here's Tujak on his feet, down to the 50-yard line, and that's what St. James needed. We just talked about it, right? You need to find a way to get Beshore in rhythm. This is a great start. You give them good field position. St. James offense hasn't struggled with that all day. They've had great field position for the most part. But now only having to go 50 yards versus 70, 75 yards, that's really important for St. James offense as they head onto the field here.
For sure, and I think at this first drive, really they're just looking to get into that rhythm that we talked about they couldn't really find in the first half. Got to clean up the mistakes. Having a drive with no bad mistakes has got to be what Radke harped on in the locker room. So we'll see how they come out and respond in the second half.
All right, so we should be good to go here. Ball at St. James 49, first down and 10. Gives to Tujak. He is met in the backfield. Dennis got that first contact, but Tujak kept going and fought forward to get a gain of about 2. Second down and 8 now, and the Thunder are in Tigers territory.
Looks like stud defensive end Dawson Merritt for Blue Valley. He's not in the game right now. You know, we saw him go down in that first half with maybe a lower leg injury. We saw him limp off the field, but he's not out there, so you got to wonder if St. James maybe going to try to take advantage of his replacement not being, obviously not as good as him.
Yeah, he's still at the table. Looks like that left foot is what he's getting worked on right now. Meanwhile, Beshore, they tried for the big deep ball. It didn't work. Beshore, he takes a hit. Another big hit there. That's Austin Cornett. And that's another one of those plays. I think if you're Beshore, maybe you see the big linebacker coming at you. You don't have the edge. Maybe you think about sliding there because that just is not the sort of play you want your star quarterback to be taking if you're the Thunder.
For sure. Those hits add up throughout the season. And, I mean, Frankie Mangini is not a bad quarterback, but he's not Tyson Beshore. Tyson is the quarterback of this defense for a reason, or of this offense for a reason, excuse me. And great protection from the offensive line there. Tyson had multiple seconds in the pocket, just good coverage in the secondary.
3-man blitz, flushed, incomplete. Stuvie in on the pressure there, and that's what you can't have if you're St. James. If they're only bringing 3, 2 can't get there that quick. And so now the punt unit's going to have to come back on. St. James can't take advantage of the blessing that was that unsportsmanlike at the end of the first half.
Absolutely. A little disappointing when you get the ball. You only have 50 yards to go, and you can only put up 3 yards before you have to punt. It's not the way St. James wanted to start the game. Start the half, excuse me.
And I'd watch for a fake here if you're St. James. Maybe try to see if they can get something going here. They are going to punt it instead. Boydson, that's a great punt from him. Fair caught at the 13-yard line by Dennis. So smart play there by the Tigers. Now the offense is going to head back out onto the field. Stokowiak, the running back, had a nice first half, not necessarily maybe the biggest yards per attempt, but he did a nice job punching it in twice for the Tigers. Meanwhile, on the offensive side, St. James done a great job getting some pressure on Aiello and moving him outside the pocket.
Absolutely, the pass rush has looked very good after kind of a 2 down weeks from it against Blue Valley Northwest and Aquinas.
It's going to be a gift to the running back. He's bouncing it out. Fights for great run of about 5 from Stokowiak there. Make it 2nd down and 5. That's what St. James wants to do in the run game, right? String it out. Try to get your running back space to go one-on-one or 1 against 2 defenders. And that's what Stokowiak got there. He got some space and he made the most of it to get 5.
Very patient run from him as well. Kind of sat behind that line for a second, waited for his gap to open up, and then he saw it outside and he went and took it.
Give to Stokowiak after the motion from Stubbe. It's going to be brought down, looks like maybe a half yard short, maybe a yard short on the carry. They are going to move the chains after a moment there. Andrew Boyer gets the tackle for a Thunder. It's going to be a 1st down for the Tigers. They're going a little bit faster here. An interesting choice, up 14-3. Maybe you'd think they'd go the other way, but they're moving a little faster here. And Raquette almost got Aiello. He's got the deep ball. He's got Westfall. Incomplete. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. St. James got lucky. There are 2 markers out there as well.
And there it is again, something I talked about a little in the first half. Some cracks in the secondary. Hit him right in the hands. We've got to think Westfall, if he was able to bring that in, would have been a potential touchdown. 3 penalty markers out on the field.
Yeah, it must have been something obvious. I didn't see anything. I don't know if you did, Jonathan. I didn't see anything that looked really obvious. It looks like maybe an eligible man downfield.
Yeah,
we saw Justin Robertson, number 72. He was laying far downfield with a couple St. James defenders next to him.
Yeah,
let's see what the call is. So 2 penalties on that one, the hold and the ineligible. 1 wasn't enough for Blue Valley. They're going to move back 10 yards here. So it's going to be a 1st down and 20.
For the Tigers at their own 14-yard line.
So I believe we went about 2.5 minutes there without a penalty. That might be the longest
New
stretch
record
we've had all
in the game.
It's just been one of those nights. And again, I said earlier, you can't blame the refs. These are all earned penalties, really, that we've seen so far. Aiello drops back. Great rush from Charlton. He can't finish it, and it's a flag on the play again. In he goes. He goes far side. He has no blockers. It does not matter. He is still on his feet down at the 48. And another 15 for Hornbeck. You saw the fist pump. He has gotten 2 15-yard penalties on Blue Valley tonight. And, I mean, the penalty yardage has to be over 200 yards right now on both sides. This is getting comical at this point, how many penalties have been called on both teams.
For real, I think Hornbeck's responsible for 30 or 40 of those yards. I mean, drawing another 15-yard penalty is huge. And here we have, again, their defense are going to have great field position. It's just they've been unable to capitalize this whole game. They've got to find a way to eventually try to put up some more points on the scoreboard with this great field position. Looks like after the 15 yards, they'll have it at approximately the 37-ish, give or take.
All right, we'd like to apologize for technical difficulties after losing a stream there. Should be good to go. Penalty there was a face mask. It is declined, so it's going to be a re-kick. St. James wants to try for better field position here. Interesting choice for St. James. It's a little risky, but also could be a higher reward play if you trust Hornbeck as a returner. Hornbeck, he has those 2 15-yard penalties he's earned. That's more yards than I think any receiver or running back has earned on St. James' offense so far, funny enough. So, you love that for Hornbeck. You want to see the offense maybe match some of those yardage numbers as well. Yeah, back out to kick, like I said, interesting choice here. What do you think of that choice, Jonathan?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they should have just taken the penalty and moved them up 15 more yards because this doesn't move them back at all. It's just a re-kick. It's kind of hard to imagine they get better field position than about the 35 of Blue Valley, but who knows? They must have seen something that they wanted.
Yeah, you got to wonder maybe a block or a return. Yeah, they're setting up for the return now. Not a good punt from Richmond, and Yeah, this is going to be worse field position. St. James is really close to that football. You don't love that. And yeah, that was not maybe the wisest choice by St. James there. Not the most forward-thinking, but regardless, St. James will be getting the ball in good enough field position. Certainly plenty manageable for this offense to put 7 up on the board.
For sure. Still got a pretty short field. You've got it at, looks like they're putting it at the 38. So that's better than that's about, if you would have kicked a kickoff out of bounds, you'd get it at the 40. It's about where you are, 62 yards to go for the end zone. And really, St. James hasn't really gotten close to the end zone tonight, to be honest. It'd be nice to just see them get across that goal line just to get some momentum going in this game as well. It's been pretty slow.
Yeah, even getting into the red zone would feel like a success the way this game's going. Back to that read option. Tujak gets it, and he is hit hard. This is a receiver room that normally has been really stout as blockers, right? We've seen it in the screen game, end arounds, tosses, all those things. They've been great, but there's just another area that just feels like they are not playing up to their fullest potential, and that play really comes down to the receivers just not doing their job blocking on the outside for Tujak.
Absolutely. I was going to say the exact same thing. Jude Wonder, Brody Bruggeman, again, like you said, pretty reliable blockers most of the time. Just this Blue Valley Tigers size, I think, is just overwhelming a little bit.
Be sure. Incomplete. It was going for Neeson there. It looked like it was going to work, just a little off. That's Charlie Zimmerman, number 27, tipping the ball. The junior making a nice play there, forcing a 3rd and 12 now for St. James offense. And St. James, they haven't been able to convert many 3rd downs all night, but 3rd and long, obviously much more difficult than 3rd and short.
Absolutely, and on that play, you really see one of those kind of consequences of only rushing 3 guys. You've got 8 guys back in coverage. You've got another linebacker, in that mid-yardage range to bat down some of those passes as we just saw.
Flag on the and that's a false start. So, as if 3rd and 12 wasn't already hard enough for a mightily struggling offense for St. James, they're going to move them back 5 more, just make the challenge a little more difficult, making it a 3rd and 17. It's certainly not impossible that you see St. James pick this up, but the way things have been going tonight, it would feel like a minor miracle if the Thunder got the ball past the 48 for the first down here.
And they were very close in the first quarter. Parker Chase caught about a 16-yarder on what was a 4th and 18, 4th and 17. They got the ball over the middle to the player they wanted, just a yard short. So, I mean, it is possible, but you got to think with Blue Valley dropping 8 guys, it'll be tricky.
High snap. They're going to go screen to Neeson. Lucky to get that one where they did. It's going to be a gain up to where the first down, or where the drive, first down rather, originally started. So it's going to be 4th and 10. Punt unit. No, rather, we're going to see some receiver changes here. St. James is going to keep the offense on the field. Or no, rather, that's the punt unit coming on now. Same returners we've seen all night. That's Dennis, number 5. You're also seeing number 13, Parker Stevens. A couple secondary members back to return. And another bad snap. Now, it looks like Boydson might have time to get this off. He's going to try to throw it. That's not going to get there. St. James lucky he got picked off, honestly. That's much better.
Oh.
Ball's out. And, of course, they can't recover it. Boydston is down, and he got rocketed there. Meanwhile, St. James threw an interception with Boydston, which already was not a smart play, because if you drop the ball, you get the ball at the 38, right? Then on top of that, after the interception, there was a fumble. St. James almost had it, and it squeezed out of the St. James player's arms, goes out of bounds. So Blue Valley's going to get the ball. And Brady Boydston is hurt for a Thunder. And Blue Valley gets about 10 extra yards on top of it. A lot going on there, and none of it good for St. James.
Yeah, it's just a true comedy of errors on that one. You know, could pretty much set up a play where everything goes wrong for the Thunder. That wouldn't look too far off from what just happened. But again, we talked about special teams woes this season, bad snaps, just kind of blown coverages. It's not been pretty from them.
Quick pass, Westfall. He finally gets out there. Scahan in on the tackle along with Schreiner. That was Grant Westfall, number 17. Westfall's a sophomore. He has had a really, really nice start to his sophomore year. 11 catches, 220 yards, and a pair of touchdowns for Grant Westfall, the sophomore. You don't see many sophomores putting up numbers like that, especially in the EKL. You know they're really excited to build around that kid for the next few years, along with those Lockett brothers. They're going to have a really good receiving core for the next few years, all those guys being sophomores. Stakoyak with a nice zone run. O-line dominating there. And that is another 15-yarder. You can just add it on. Aiden Dreiling clearly frustrated, tossing the Blue Valley lineman there. And that was pretty obvious, honestly. I'm not sure if the camera could see that or not, but Dreiling, after the play, kind of tossing one of the linemen to the side much after the whistle. It's going to be 15 more for the Tigers.
And that's really just inexcusable from the Thunder. I mean, you're already in a hole, down 11. Blue Valley's driving, giving them 15 extra yards. There's just no reason to do that. You got to keep your emotions in check. I know that's a thing we talked about early in the season in the rivalry games against, and now Dreiling comes out probably for that exact reason. In the rivalry games against Miege and Aquinas, we talked about how tempers could flare a little bit, especially the team that's losing. But those are the exact tempers that need to stay at one level so that stuff like that doesn't happen. I know Coach Iraqi will not be happy about all these penalties after tonight.
So 6:22 on the clock. It's going to be first and goal from the 9. Stakoyak gets the ball. He has lots of room to run. Tries to bounce it back. That does not work. Sam Charlton brings him down, the junior D lineman for the Thunder. Only got a couple on that zone run, but it feels like he's getting a ton of yards before any St. James defenders are even close to Stakoyak right now.
I agree. Offensive line for Blue Valley is doing a great job at kind of getting to that second level and getting outside. Stakoyak, credit to him, is doing a very good job of just being patient, waiting behind that line for the block to open up. And like you said, we're getting 3-4 yards downfield before he's even touched.
Gain of 4, Stakoyak once again. No, it's play action. Aiello, he's got room to run. He has a guy. Goes to Stuvey. I don't know why that was where he threw the ball there. Frankly, it looked like he had a step and he had Hopper both open. Probably could have got a touchdown either way. Instead goes to Stuvey and it falls incomplete. So St. James catches a little bit of a break there. Now it's going to be third and goal from 5.
And you saw Max Arquette with that pressure in the backfield. Maybe affected the throw a little bit. But like you said, well, I also thought he had maybe Grant Westfall just a few yards in front of him that looked like he maybe could have gotten the end zone for the score there. So some questionable decision making and more poor accuracy, frankly.
Pitch to Stakoyak. Has to beat Arquette. He cannot. Max Arquette, the senior DN, making a big play. We've seen him make them all throughout his career at St. James in a big-time tackle on third and goal. And now decision time for the Tigers. Do you kick your 3? Do you take the points? Or do you try to go for a touchdown? If they take the 3, which looks like they're going to try to kick the field goal, it's still a 2-score game. Nothing really changes for St. James. You just got to get a touchdown now rather than – you got to get 2 touchdowns now rather than touchdown, 2-point, and a field goal if you're St. James. So St. James is going to be lucky only if they give up 3 this drive, I think.
It would be an absolute miracle if there was no flag on this kick.
Not a good snap. McGuire Richmond sent that one 100 miles an hour right through the uprights.
No flags.
And you jinxed it well for us there, Jonathan. Lucky not to have any penalties on that one, and Blue Valley scores first once again to start out the second half. Investments, tax planning, retirement, insurance. Managing all aspects of your financial life can be overwhelming. That's where Quadic Wealth Management comes in. We'll help you fit each piece of the financial puzzle together. Schedule your free assessment by texting GO THUNDER to 913-402-6099. Quadic Wealth is a proud supporter of St. James and the Crimson Club.
At Luxury and Imports, you'll find a top-notch car dealership with over 200 carefully selected pre-owned vehicles. Luxury and Imports offers the complete auto experience, service, body shop, rent-a-car, and car sales. Their staff is driven to provide 100% satisfaction, ensuring a stress-free car shopping experience every time. Discover their motto, the right car, the right price, the smart choice. Located in Leavenworth, Kansas, visit Luxury and Imports for your next car experience.
All right, so Tigers put up 3 more on the board. 17-3 is the score in this third quarter. We got about 4:40 left to go in the third quarter. Plenty of time, 16 and a half minutes left in regulation of this one. St. James going to let the kick go, so it'll start at the 20. You hate to sound like a broken record, but it's pretty simple. You just got to cut out all the mistakes. That is much, much easier said than done. We've seen that a lot tonight from St. James, just mistake after mistake.
Yeah, absolutely. You just got to value the ball. It doesn't look like they've been valuing possessions really at all tonight. They've been careless with the snaps. Like they fumbled the ball early to start. Brady Boydston threw that interception. Just looks like they're not valuing the possession. And like you said, well, 16 and a half minutes left. That's a lot of time. But if you keep having these crucial mistakes, that time goes by very fast, especially with how Blue Valley's run game has looked.
Counter to Tujak now. Runs right into his own lineman, Marcia. He is pushed backwards, gained maybe 1 on the forward progress. And I'd agree, Jonathan, just the valuing of the football doesn't look great. And St. James, you know, Brady Boydston on that at the end of last drive on the punt, got hit pretty hard. We didn't see him come back in on defense, so you have to wonder if he even is good to punt. If he isn't good to punt, right, you're probably going to Ben Johnson, but nonetheless, St. James has already had 2 bad snaps on punts, so they might not even be able to punt the ball effectively enough to go to that. So they just really got to put themselves in good position here. Great play action, great protection, nothing open, ball out. He said he was down. St. James maybe a bit of a break caught there, though. Sam Kyle in on the tackle, the linebacker, making a nice play, making a 3rd down and about 9 for the Thunder.
I know we talked about line of scrimmage physicality earlier in this game, but I think Blue Valley has just been dominating this line of scrimmage really all night. I know we talked about how they're even able to get pressure with only rushing 3 guys, and even if that 4th one's coming with the blitz, it's like they're rushing 6 with the amount of pressure that Tyson's had in his face.
Yeah, and credit to the linebackers, too. They've done a great job finishing off plays all night for Blue Valley. Open is Chase. He gets the 1st down. Ball is out. Let's see the call. No call's been made. They say he was down. They give him the 1st down. All right, so St. James got a 1st down in the second half. It's going to be a quick pass. Tujak. Oh, he almost had a lot of room to run there. He's brought down at the 40. Neeson could have held his block maybe a quarter second, half second longer. Tujak would have had the sideline wide open to run through. Unfortunately, only going to gain 5 on a play that could have been much, much more.
Now St. James going with a little bit of a hurry up here.
I think it's smart, right? We talked about trying to build rhythm for B-Shore. I think maybe think a little less and just go play football makes it easy to build some of that rhythm when your offense struggles. And Tujak disappears there. Stuvey in on the tackle on the D-line there, along with Max Sims.
Big 3rd down here with the Thunder. They've got to be able to convert to keep this drive going, because there's still time left in the game, but they're kind of running out of time here. Down 2 scores. You know, you got to stop Blue Valley as well. That's something that the defense has been able to do, but, you know, with all the misfortunes that have happened in this game, anything could happen. So you got to try to get a touchdown quick here.
Chase singled up at the bottom. B-Shore runs. Great blocking. B-Shore got the 1st and then a little more. That is one of those great play calls. We haven't talked about offensive coordinator Matt Joshi. He's called some great plays all year long. Really been one of the best play calling years I can remember in recent memory for St. James. And a really nice play call to get St. James the 1st down there.
I think his play calling's been great tonight too. It's just a lot of these plays we just haven't seen come to fruition because there's been a mistake, there's been a fumble, you know. Maybe he's only called 20, 25 plays so far, whereas usually he'd call 35 because our offense keeps turning it over. But I mean, I like the things St. James has been able to do. You know, they've been able to move the ball decently well when they haven't turned it over.
Yeah, I think it's been great game plan, bad execution all night for St. James. Now here's a great completion to Chase. He spun off a tackle. He's still on his feet. Great toughness. He is brought down by the face mask. Couldn't be more obvious. And that is going to be a big gain. That penalty committed at about 39. It's going to move St. James to 24. And for the first time all night, we've seen some rhythm on offense this drive. Remember, St. James only down 2 touchdowns. It feels like a lot more with how terribly they've moved the ball down the field. But with them finally getting some confidence, gaining a rhythm here, now at the 24, 25-yard line, feels like this game is definitely within reach for the Thunder.
For sure. We've been saying it kind of all night, how neither team has really played very well. Obviously, St. James played pretty poorly, but this game, even though they're down 2 touchdowns, still feels like it's for the taking. And that if one team can just string together, 6 minutes of error-free football, they can make a big run in this game and St. James could tie it, or vice versa. If it's Blue Valley that goes on the run, they increase the lead to 24-27 to 3.
Yeah, it felt like that last drive, it was so close for Blue Valley, just putting the game away with a touchdown, but the defense held strong, holding them to just 3, and now the offense looking to add 7 of their own to the board. Blitz goes. Chase complete up to the 16-yard line. And St. James line, it feels like every play is just an absolute war down there with the D-line of Blue Valley. We're seeing guys laying on the ground on both sides after every play, it feels like right now, in pain. They've done a good job tonight facing a really good D-line of Blue Valley, doing their absolute best to keep B-Shore clean.
Absolutely, especially on this drive, they've looked pretty good. B-Shore's had time to find Parker on multiple throws, but it's good to see them getting the ball to their best receiver.
Rolling left is B-Shore. That's a tough pass to make. That's one of those plays when you had a lefty like Jackson House, that's a lot easier to complete going to your arm side, but it's hard across your body. It's going to fall to a 3rd down and about 3, maybe 4 for the Thunder. You talked about earlier, Jonathan, earlier's drive, the pace that St. James gone with. I think they've seen a lot of benefits from that early on this drive. You can't go to it, obviously, after an incompletion, but I like the pace St. James is playing at. Because like you said earlier, you have to keep in mind the time. It's not the biggest concern, but it's something you do have to have in the back of your mind.
For sure, and, you know, even if you have plenty of time, if the tempo is what's working for you, then that's what's working for you. And you got to try to keep it going. And it's worked for them earlier in this drive. We'll see what they go with here.
Oh, trick play. Fakes the trick play. Does Tujak. He's got some room to run. He is brought down at the 10. And we saw it last week, right? The 2-point conversion. Similar play design. You pitch to Tujak. He pitches to Mangini, who throws. That time, pitch to Tujak. Fake the pitch to Mangini. It throws the defense for just long enough. Tujak gets St. James the ball inside the 10 for the first time tonight.
And here we go. This is exactly what St. James needed, to get the ball into the red zone. But now they've got to be able to convert. 2 red zone turnovers last week against Northwest. Absolutely cannot happen at this stage of the game. They've got to find a way to come away with 7 here.
Yeah. Play action. Or no, rather a run by B-Shore. B-Shore, he's still on his feet. Touchdown, St. James. That's what they needed. They've wanted to run with B-Shore all night, and they got the play they needed with his legs. Touchdown, St. James.
Now it looks like Tyson might be cramping a little bit. It's hard to tell. But, again, Tyson, great job using his legs, getting that touchdown up the middle. And we see it again. Their running ability really is potent, and it's something that St. James can rely on.
PAT up. St. James missed it last week. That was a low kick. It was good, and St. James makes it 17-10.
In the 3rd quarter, our score: Blue Valley Tigers 17, St. James Academy Thunder 10.
So St. James comes away with a touchdown there, exactly what they needed, makes it a 1-score game with still a whole quarter to play. A little bit of concern. Tyson B-Shore hobbling off the field, jumping on one leg. That left hamstring a little bit of an issues. Laying on the ground over there, getting some work done, so hopefully he's good and he's able to come back. Leavenworth Oral Surgery is a proud sponsor of St. James Academy Crimson Club.
All right, so St. James, they needed some momentum for the first time all night. It feels like they got some that drive. For whatever reason, that drive, no penalties really for St. James, no negative plays. I don't know what changed, what flipped the switch, but St. James, they finally found that offense waking up, capitalized by the 10-yard touchdown run by Tyson B-Shore.
And that just proves that, you know, what we've been saying tonight and what Jude was saying pregame is that really the only team that's been able to beat the Thunder is themselves, where they don't get in their own way. They're a good football team. They just went down, very nice drive and scored. Unfortunately, Tyson B-Shore does get injured. It looks like he's still having some work done over there. I think he's still laying down on the sideline. So we'll continue to monitor that. Without him, it feels like the odds get a lot longer for this Thunder team.
Yeah, and we talked about earlier, man, you're taking some of these tough hits that aren't needed in some spots as well. Yeah, it's going to start paying off in a negative way eventually for the Thunder. Kick goes out of the end zone, ball at the 20. Now you're in a tough spot if you're a defense, right? Your goal, no matter what, you don't want the other team to score points, right? But if you're St. James, in a way, maybe a long drive at least of real time where you can get B-Shore checked out, get B-Shore ready to go on the sideline is not a bad thing. But obviously, no matter what, you don't want to allow points here at Blue Valley. That's really what St. James is focusing on here.
For sure. You know, a few more of those yellow flags that we've seen all night would be pretty nice. Stops the clock, moves Blue Valley backwards. You know, Tyson B-Shore gets more time to kind of get back on his feet. I think he's still laying down over there. But like you said, Will, stopping them is priority number 1.
Hand off to the back. On his feet, gets 7 there, does Stakoyak. Looks like B-Shore's up and throwing now on the sideline. Good news for Thunder. Unfortunately, another development, Blake Boydston rather out of the game, so Will Schuster in at safety for the Thunder. We saw him play a little bit this year and last year both, but now he's in at safety next to Hornback for Thunder. Looks like this is going to end the third quarter here. 17-10 is the score heading into the fourth quarter. St. James, big opportunity here to hopefully finish this game off on the right foot. SJ Soccer has had an amazing start to the season with the win over Aquinas. It was a pink out that night, and our yearbook staff caught some great pictures. Here's the next installment in our best of series.
The Spark Center is where students can come to help with learning, enrichment, collaboration. So say you're working on a problem or writing an essay and you get stuck in seminar and you're like, I just don't know what to do. You can ask your seminar teacher or study hall teacher. You can come on down during the day. We'll solve your problems and you can get right back to work so that you can be more efficient and have fun.
All right, we'd like to welcome you back here to the Thunder Broadcast Network. 17-10 is the score. Blue Valley up 7 on the Thunder here. This game started in quite a fashion, very careless effort on both sides for about 2.5 quarters. Last 6-7 minutes of that quarter, I think he saw both teams really tighten things up a lot. St. James finally put together a drive that they needed on the offensive end. Now it's up to the defense to finally make some stuff happen. B-Shore is still over, getting looked at by the trainer. You would think Francis Mangini is going to be the quarterback if St. James needs to go to a backup here. We haven't seen him play much quarterback this year. We saw him a little bit last year, but not much this year. It's certainly a really tough spot to put a kid in, whether Blue Valley does or doesn't score here. It's going to be a close game, and it's going to be a tough spot to put in a guy like that.
Agreed. I mean, it's a big pressure situation. Frankie Mangini, while he is probably a pretty good quarterback, we just haven't seen. He's not proven. We have seen him throw a few touchdown passes this season, though, off of some trick plays. So we know he's got some decent accuracy and a pretty decent arm. But, running an offense and just kind of filling in for a trick play are two completely different things. And it's just going to be, can he live up to the moment should St. James need him? Looks like B-Shore is up and walking now, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, obviously hard to tell from up here how he's doing, but you wish the best. Meanwhile, defense has to do their job for it to even matter. Stokoyak gets the ball, going far side. He has a burst. Here he goes. It's him and Schuster, and brought down. Shuey makes the tackle there for the Thunder inside the 35. That is not what St. James wanted, though. It felt like Blue Valley has kind of been sleeping all game. Finally, Stokoyak breaks the long one. A big play for the Tigers, flipping the field already.
A huge play by Schuster. In a way, it's kind of good that he's back there instead of Brady Boyks, one of the fastest guys on the team, able to run down the running back. And he made it 30 yards before he was even touched. The offensive line did a great job there, clearing a hole, getting up to that second level and taking those linebackers out of it, too.
Yeah, we haven't seen that speed really all game long from Stokoyak. Finally saw it there. Give to the backup Hayden Ward here. They haven't gone to the backups much this year. You kind of see why on that one. Only a gain of 2. Bevitt and Raquette combining for the tackle. It's going to make it a 2nd down and 8.
St. James has got to try and remember here that even though they had that big play, they're still maybe on the very brink of field goal range. So if you can get a few stops here, a few maybe incompletions, maybe even a sack or a penalty, you can push them back and still come out of this drive allowing 0 points.
That's absolutely possible, but you need to have a good play these next 2. It's going to be a pitch to Stuve. Brought forward a little bit of a trickery there. They faked the handoff to the running back, did a quick little jet touch pass to the tight end. Most teams probably aren't going to do that to a tight end. You don't want the tight end getting the ball in space in a lot of playbooks, but you have a guy like Stuve. He's so good in space. They got him the ball, got the first down there.
And they've been trying to go to him kind of this whole game. Aiello looked for him in the end zone. He's taken a few wildcat snaps. So they want to try to get him going. I think they just saw, hey, this might be our best opportunity to get him just on a simple little play where all he has to do is catch the ball and run.
Yeah, I think they probably didn't want the backup getting the ball again there. So a creative way to get a run without, going to the backup. Dreiling almost gets the tackle brought down there.
Charlie Stahoyak, the ball carrier.
That was Connor Skahan and William Pattison combining for a tackle. Still a gain of about 5, though, after the carry from Stahoyak there. He's been really, really good this second half.
Absolutely. Stahoyak has been kind of the life of this Blue Valley offense in the second half, with the pass game kind of taking a back seat. And on that drive, I mean, honestly looked like a professional running back or a college running back there. Just running behind the line, waiting for them to clear the path, and then hitting that gap hard. Able to get, again, 4 or 5 yards before he's even touched. It's something St. James has got to change.
Yeah, and that secondary can't get hold to sleep either. They got the receivers. They can win one-on-one if St. James lets them. Gain of about 3 by Stahoyak. Multiple guys in on that contact there. It's going to be 3rd down and 2, and now onto the Wildcat formation we go. We've seen a lot of trickery from this already tonight. You got to think more's on the way here from Blue Valley. You're close enough. You're 15 yards away. You certainly are in range where you could probably throw for a touchdown here out of the Wildcat, or just run to get the first down as well.
For sure. We talked about earlier, Stu was a quarterback for 2 years. So if he does take this snap, obviously he's the running threat. It's a 3rd and short. He could easily pick it up, but maybe look for a pass as well to come.
Just going to be a straight power with Stu. Never a doubt really on that carry. For Taft Stu, he gets about 4. Quite an easy first down. It's nice to have a weapon like that running behind such a talented, large O-line that Blue Valley's got. It's just so hard for a team like St. James. They, we talked about it a little bit this year. We haven't talked about it a lot, but this is a really small D-line St. James has, and you're seeing some of that both this week and last week against Blue Valley Northwest. Stu in motion. And Stahoyak is brought backwards. Sam Charlton makes the big play there. We've seen him step up in some big moments in some of the limited opportunities he's had this year.
For sure. I know we've talked a lot about this season about how the St. James defense kind of rotates these interior defensive players, really their whole D-line and even their linebackers a little bit. And I think those rotational guys that have come in have done an excellent job trying to make sure that quality of line doesn't take a big dip when the starters aren't in.
Give to Stahoyak. He had nothing, so that's what St. James needs. 2 run stops. They got to throw the ball here. The other thing I think you like if you're St. James, right, because the game is so close, they aren't able to just run this clock down to under 5 every time, because, frankly, that's just not smart, right? If you don't score and then St. James gets the ball back, they score, then you don't have time to score, right? So because of that, Blue Valley has to go with a little bit of pace here, and that works in St. James' advantage as the team that's down. 3rd and 10. Got to be looking for the pass here for Thunder. Aiello's going to drop back.
Only rushing 2.
Evers in pursuit. Just him and Aiello. He's going to throw it out of bounds. So 4th and 10. Decision time once again. If they get the field goal, they go up 2 scores, or they could go for a touchdown. They're going to go for the field goal. Probably the better choice there, I would agree with, on that play for Blue Valley.
Agree, throwing it away is probably the smart move there. Obviously don't want to get sacked for like a 20-yard loss. Kind of takes you almost out of field goal range. Throwing it away, just the best option there. Make sure to get it out of bounds so you don't accidentally throw an interception.
29-yard attempt.
McGuire Richmond kicks up. It is high. That was really close. It just barely sneaks through that right upright. Probably wanted that one to be a little closer to the middle. Feel better about that, but ultimately it goes through, and the score goes to 20-10 in the Tigers' favor. BSN Sports is a team supplier specializing in high-quality athletic apparel, footwear, and uniforms. BSN Sports provides convenience for coaches, which allows the St. James Academy Thunder to focus on winning. BSN Sports is a proud supporter of the SJ Crimson Club.
Performance Rehab uses the latest and most efficient treatments to meet your specific problem and guarantees your success. Experience the caring environment and the genuine concern they show, beginning to know patients and their health goals. Performance Rehab is a proud supporter of the SJ Crimson Club.
All right, so 20-10 is the score. Unknown if Tyson Beshore will be the quarterback this drive. 8:23 on the clock. More than enough time for St. James to get a couple scores here and a stop. But scoring this drive, whether it's 3 or 7, pretty much has to happen for St. James to feel like they got a shot here. All right, kick is up here. Is going to be caught by Chase at the 5. We haven't seen him return one yet. Still on his feet. He's still going. Here's Parker Chase. How is this kid still on his feet? He goes down at the 34. I will say, while the punt unit hasn't been great today, I think both the kickoff return and kickoff teams have been really, really solid for the Thunder tonight, doing a great job bringing a lot of energy into the St. James team tonight.
Absolutely. The return game has been very good. It's given St. James a lot of good field position, but they just haven't been able to capitalize on it very much this half.
So it looks like McGeeney's going to be the quarterback for St. James. Remember last drive, B-Shore on the 10-yard touchdown round looked like he took a shot. He was working a lot on the sideline trying to get back. Looks like he isn't going to be able to this drive. First play, it's just going to be a run with McGeeney. Lucky to only lose one on that one.
Come on, Frankie.
That was a nice play there. That was Ethan Wolf on the tackle. Senior D-end.
It's really make or break time for St. James if they want to have a chance in this game. Obviously, Tyson's not out there, but they got to go get a touchdown. Got to do it pretty quick. They're in 7.5 minutes almost, and a little and running, so they're running out of time.
Escaping, and that was some Mahomes-type magic there. He just flicked it with his left hand. It hit Chase perfectly. I can't really fault Chase for not being ready, though. There, it looked like he was on his way down. Smart play by McGeeney. It's risky, right? But it ultimately, didn't not work out in St. James' favor. So it's going to be 3rd and 10. Could have been much worse. Now St. James has to find a way to get some sort of positive yards in this play. Because even if you don't get the first carry, you have to make it manageable on the 4th down attempt.
Absolutely. 4th and 10 is not what you want to be in here. If you're going to have to be a 4th down, you want it to be 4th and probably 4 or less to give you the best odds there.
Drops back. 3-man rush. He's brought down again, so clearly McGeeney not very comfortable in the pocket through these first 3 plays, and it's hard to blame him again. And they get these 3-man rushes, and they're getting through this easily. It is really, really difficult for anybody to be open. It's just a simple numbers game. If you have 4 to 5 receivers versus 8 defenders in coverage, the chances that somebody's going to be open are small, especially in those first couple seconds. So 4th and 10, and St. James, unfortunately, is going to have to punt the football. It looks like here. Ben Johnson's going to come on, the backup punter for the Thunder.
Probably a smart move here. You still have the opportunity for a turnover, a fumble, interception maybe, but you definitely don't want to give the ball to Blue Valley inside your own 40-yard line for a chance to go and really ice this game.
Bad snap. Ben Johnson, a little bit of a rugby-style punt there. That's a high, high bounce. It's going to continue going down to the 13. It looks like maybe it was. Yeah, it was touched earlier on accident by a St. James player, so he's going to be down at the 20-yard line.
45-yard punt by Ben Johnson. Down at the
Go enjoy a smoothie with a purpose. Visit Smoothie King, located in Monticello Center in Western Shawnee. Their mission is to inspire people to live a healthy, active lifestyle and to be an integral part of everyone's fitness journey. Go to Smoothie King to rule the day. All right, so Blue Valley back out here. 20-10 is the score. Time dwindling down, just 6:39 on the clock right now.
I know I already said it, but if you're the St. James defense here, really all the pressure's on you. You've got to find a way to either get a quick 3 and out, maybe a turnover here to give your offense a chance to get back into this game.
Handoff. Stokoyak gets about 3 yards, and you can just hear it in the crowd right now, right? It is just dead. I think this game really felt like it was a game after the touchdown scored by a Thunder, and then once B-Shore got hurt, Blue Valley went down, put up 3 of their own. It felt like this game is kind of dying right now in front of us. St. James, they need a turnover from the defense right now. I feel like that's the only way St. James really has a shot to make a run at winning this game in regulation at least.
For sure, I think you make a great point there. Kind of all energy and life on the St. James sideline is gone. You know, that B-Shore injury, obviously when your quarterback gets hurt, that's going to take a toll on everybody else, but that doesn't mean you can be any less intense on offense or defense, because you've still got a chance here even without him down 10 with 6 minutes to go. You're not out of this game by any means, but
Yeah, and this is where if I was St. James, right, the senior leaders on this defense, you need to see them step up. You need to see them come together and say, hey, we got to make a couple stops. We saw them do it last drive, right? They got 2 stops on first and second down, then that forced them to throw on third down. They can't do that really this game. So that's the key for St. James. Make them do stuff they don't want to do by throwing the ball and doing anything besides just giving the ball off to Stokoyak. They're going to do that here. What great vision this kid has. Really nice run there to get just a gain of 3. Could have been much worse than that. Stokoyak fighting forward, gets 3. It's going to be second down and 7. Clock dwindling here. We're at 5:15 and counting left in this one. St. James has all 3 timeouts remaining. You have to wonder when they're going to start using them. Probably not soon, but you know, as this drive continues, it's something St. James is going to have to consider.
Absolutely, clock management is really that's really all that's left in this game is Blue Valley trying to waste the clock. St. James trying to keep as much time left on it as they can to maybe have a chance at a comeback.
And you know Blue Valley's going to wind this clock down as much as possible. Stokoyak, oh, what great blocking that was. Makes a man miss. He is still on his feet. Schreiner brings him down at the 45-yard line along with Will Schuster.
Schreiner in on the tackle for the Thunder.
And again, credit to Stokoyak. He has just looked up for the task every time Blue Valley's called on him tonight. He has delivered. This O-line is helping him a whole lot.
Absolutely. His running numbers tonight have been fantastic. They're probably averaging upwards of 6 yards a rush. And like you said, Will, offensive line for Blue Valley, I don't think we've given them enough credit for just how well they've played tonight. They've been given their running back, sorry, I can't really pronounce his last name, big gaps to run through. Hasn't really had to do a lot of work.
Now back to the backup. He has not had a great night so far. Only 1 carry, not much on it. Got a little bit of a better carry there. Got about 4 yards. Did Hayden Ward.
Stop after again, 4 yards. Second down and 6 for the Tigers.
Second down and 6 now for the Tigers.
What happened?
Really just a helpless feeling if you're St. James right now, just watching this clock dwindle down. You know they're giving their best, but it just feels like that, you know, their best isn't good enough right now. They're just too fatigued. They're not up for the task right now. And Blue Valley, credit to them, they're playing a really good brand of football right now. They're going to give to Ward. He's brought down after a gain of 3. Schreiner with a nice stop. Gets it to a third down for the first time this drive. Stokoyak enters back into the game now, running back.
Yes, Blue Valley's doing a great job here, just kind of winding that clock down. Looks like St. James maybe isn't willing to use their timeouts, or maybe they just don't think it's late enough. But with the way this run game for Blue Valley has looked, they've just kind of been able to run it down the throats of St. James this whole drive, really this whole fourth quarter. So unless they've got a big play here, I think it's tough. The nails are going into the coffin.
Definitely feels that way. 3rd and 4, big opportunity for that play that St. James so desperately needs. Stokoyak, he is still on his feet. He fights forward and gets the first. St. James, man, they strung it out a long time. That was a long, long play on the run. Ultimately, the patience of Stokoyak pays off. And again, you got to be impressed. This kid is just so patient as a runner, and it really helps to have an O-line that he has as well.
Absolutely. Kind of reminds me of prime Le'Veon Bell. If any of you guys watched him, did a very good job of just waiting behind the offensive line for a gap to open up. And Stahoviak has done just that this whole night. Credit to him. I mean, he's looked very good tonight. It's no wonder that St. James has had trouble stopping him.
Ball at the 35 now. Pitch to Stokoyak. That was not a natural-looking pitch really at all. Still gets 4, doesn't matter. Now St. James is going to have to use that first timeout of the night, or of the half, rather, here. St. James needs to find a way to get a stop. Just feels like it's not going to happen tonight. In the final volume of the Best Of series, we showcase St. James Academy's faculty. welcome back here. 2nd and 7 is where we are at. 31-yard line in St. James territory is where the ball is at for Blue Valley. 2:20 on the clock. 2 timeouts remain. St. James finally put together a good drive in that third quarter, capitalized by a 10-yard touchdown by Tyson Beshore on the ground. Unfortunately, came at the expense of his health. And St. James really hasn't been able to fight back since then. Feels like Blue Valley just trying to run this clock out, doing so with much success. Stokoyak fighting Requette, chucks him down there. 3rd down, about 5. St. James, of course, going to call that timeout after they just called the first one moments ago.
I think the story of this game, looking back, is just going to be that miserable first half, for really lack of a better way to put it. 2 turnovers, maybe 3, I can't really remember when that interception took place, but lots of misfortunes, just a lack of being on the same page. We're just about as bad as we've seen this Thunder offense play in the past year or two. I mean, it's really been miserable, so hopefully they can change that next week against a Pius team that is obviously a big game for St. James. It's one they usually win. Coach Radke used to coach there. A lot of emotions.
Yeah, and this is going to be certainly a big thing going into Pius next week. St. James has a lot to look forward to, though. I mean, Pius and Cape in the next couple weeks, those are a couple winnable games for sure, not going up against some of the Blue Valley schools here. So Blue Valley heads back out here. 3rd down and 5 are where we are at here.
No, I need is focusing.
Blue Valley in a situation they're going to kneel on the football here, probably. Or no, rather, that's the Wildcat formation. Stuvie's got blockers. He's got the speed. He's got the first.
And, man, that really just sums it up, doesn't it? Just Blue Valley's ability, really throughout this whole game, but especially in this 4th quarter, just pound the rock over and over, get way too many yards per carry, 6, 7, 8 we've seen. It's multiple different runners. It's Stuve. It's Stokoviak. I mean, it's everyone's eating at this Blue Valley Tigers dinner table right now, and St. James doesn't really have an answer.
Yeah, and again, credit to the O-line, man. They are dominating as this game has gone on. Early on, it felt like it was really 50-50, right? The D-line won some, the O-line won some. Right now, though, it is all O-line. Like you said, Stuvie, Stokoyak both doing a good job on the ground. They're going to run a counter. He has no blockers.
Yeah, get him.
Still on his feet. Driven down, gained maybe 1.
Took about 6 Thunder DBs to bring him down there.
Again, feels like an encapsulation of a day. It feels like it's taken every single thing St. James has got to get, some of the simpler of tasks done. And I think you can't fault St. James' effort, right? It's been a high effort game from St. James. And I think a good game plan as well from coaches. It's just the execution hasn't been there. It's been a lot of mental stuff, and it's been a lot of just things not working out maybe like St. James expected them to.
Agreed, and it's hard to know maybe some of what Joshi or Denton has had planned in this game, because the dominoes haven't fallen that way in the first half. When your offense, I know we've talked about it, when you commit 2 turnovers and have consistent bad snaps and your offense can't find a rhythm, that kind of shrinks the playbook. It limits the types of plays that you can call, and the motivation on both sides really is a factor that maybe some people don't think about. But when things seem to come effortless to you, you're going out there, you're not thinking, you're just playing well, and results are coming. And that's kind of the gold standard for any offense or defense out there, is you just kind of go out there and everyone does their job.
Yeah, absolutely right about that, Jonathan. And remember, Patrick Exteriors is a local family-owned business since 1996 and is the leading installer of James Hardy siding products in Johnson County. Patrick Exteriors knows the problems and solutions for homes in Kansas City and is a 3-year member of the Crimson Club. Blue Valley calls timeout. Strange choice. They could just kneel on the ball and end the game, but they have chosen not to.
Only 4 seconds left, too, so I don't really know what they're doing.
Yeah, Coach on St. James doesn't look super happy about that. Freedom Physical Therapy and Training Center is proud to partner with St. James Academy and working to form the whole person. We look forward to helping others find freedom in their body, mind, heart, and soul. Go Thunder! St. James is ready for this game to end. They are all lined up at the handshake line at the 50-yard line. And it is a strange choice here, I think, if you're Blue Valley. I don't really see the gain, especially if you're probably just kneeling on the ball here. And if you aren't, it's not necessarily the best show of sportsmanship. Yeah, so they are going to kneel on it. Hard to really have that be what you complain about after everything that St. James has done to really beat themselves tonight. And certainly a frustrating game if you are a Thunder fan. You see both teams shaking hands, a nice sign of respect here from both the Thunder and the Tigers. All right, we welcome you into the booth here. I'm Will Nichols alongside Jonathan May. 20-10 loss. It felt much worse than that, though, for the Thunder. I think there's some positives to take away from this game, but overall, I'd say it's a pretty big step back for a Thunder team that was oh so close to beating Blue Valley Northwest last week.
Agreed. It kind of felt like everything went the Thunder way last week against Blue Valley Northwest, even though they did come away with an L. And it was the exact opposite this week. Everything seemed to go wrong for them. You know, just lack of coordination, lack of discipline, lack of execution. I know I said it pregame, but this game really did come down to which team was able to better execute. You know, not a very high-scoring game, only 20-10. But Blue Valley does prevail because they're better execution. A lot of stuff to fix, but at least they're pretty obvious things. Got to work on the snaps. Got to hold on to the ball. You know, it's things that are pretty obvious. But on the flip side, I think one thing you can look at is when you didn't turn the ball over, when you didn't have those miscues, you were able to score a touchdown. That nice drive in the third quarter, they were able to go down and score to make this a one-possession game. You saw what their offense can do when they take care of the ball.
Yeah, and I think you talked about it a little bit, Jonathan, that, you know, taking care of the ball is so important for the St. James team. You saw the glimmers of light, right? You saw the good things, and then guys got hurt. You know, Tyson Beshore gets hurt. We don't know what his status is, obviously, next week. That's going to be a key thing for St. James. You obviously don't want the backup play there. You know, Brady Boydston also got injured in the secondary, and more of those plays are going to happen when you're putting guys at risk by, you know, bad snaps, fumbling the ball, whatever it is. So that's something St. James needs to clean up, obviously. But again, in these two games, you lost by 10 this week to Blue Valley. You lost by 3 to Blue Valley Northwest. Those are a couple really good teams. So a lot to take away from this one. Again, St. James losing 20-10 to Blue Valley. Remember to tune in next week around 6:30 for TBN Live, our pregame show, having all things SJA covered. We'd like to thank all of our producers, tech members, and camera operators tonight. For Jonathan May, I'm Will Nichols. Good night and go Thunder.
This broadcast is a product of St. James Academy. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or other use of the pictures and accounts of this Thunder Broadcasting Network production without the express written consent of St. James Academy is prohibited.
We're one holy Catholic, apostolic family. Our thunderous spirit is felt through the place. Virtue and dignity, friendship and loyalty, keeping faith forever.